Hey, welcome back to the Metro Ball Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is August 9th, probably plus minus one, plus minus five actually. Then you're less likely to be wrong. How you doing? This is our weekly Netrunner stream where we trade in my physical comfort in this hot apartment for better sound quality. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Good morning, Medan. How you doing? Thanks for dropping by. Also, Vincent, good luck. This week there was an expansion in Hearthstone, and Vincent there is grinding out some combo priest decks. Hey, Maui, what's up? Andre, how about that new MWL leak? We'll talk about that, huh? Seems all right. If we'll get to that. There's a new section, the most wanted list, what people believe to be the new most wanted list. And mind you, we were promised a new most wanted list before Worlds, and Worlds is in now less than a month. So I assume we're going to be getting that sooner than later, and it looks like the one that's on Reddit might be real. We'll find out real soon. We'll talk about that. Apathy, how you doing? Thanks for dropping by. Also, Dumbbrick, good evening as well. Hopefully you're doing well. Let me tell you, and I think this is maybe the second time that I've said this, I've watched the VODs of this stream, and I honestly don't understand how you all understand when I'm talking that fast. So we're going to be a bit more articulate. Oh man, it's already getting difficult. We're starting with the deck list of the week, and this one's a cool one. It came first at Stockport Regional. I don't actually know where Stockport is. All right, it's a town in England. Greater Manchester. Okay. I'm doing all right. Working late, but I'll crack a beer when you do. Deal? That's going to happen, Apathy. It's way too warm. Thomas, how's it going? Hey, buddy. How you doing? Thanks for dropping by as well. So, if we zoom out pretty far, this should give you an idea of what the meta looks like in this area. Yeah, so based off of what we've gleaned there, it looks like the right call of this regional, this event, was actually an Acme deck, which is something we haven't really seen that much on this channel. We played it once when we played the physical card game with Pat maybe 2 months ago when Rain and Reverie came out. And look at that, this actually opened up on Firefox, which is maybe the coolest thing. I was there in Stockport, made top 8. Hey, congrats! What were you playing, Thomas? Because Silver Stockport was. Hey, Metropole Grid, it's from the 4chan spoiler guy, apparently. They've been spot on most of the time. People are theorizing it's being leaked due to proximity to Worlds. Yeah, I honestly think it's legit. I do hear murmurs from people that do play testing and stuff like that, and this lines up with what I've heard. Not confirming anything, obviously, because I don't know. But yeah, it's actually a really big deal when it comes to leaking something like the most wanted list. Obviously, I don't like leaks. We'll talk about this a bit more in the near future when we get to the news section. But like this sort of leak is actually really important to a lot of people. It just lets more people be able to prepare for Worlds with the same amount of time or like as much time as possible, because the people that are playtesting know what the most wanted list is, and until they announce it, until it gets approved by whatever companies have to approve it, I think a lot of those people would like the scene to be as competitive as possible. Yeah. Because like every leaked most wanted list was real, make you wonder. Actually, I think one or two of them was off. I think one of them was similar. One of the most wanted leaks that people were like really posturing around actually didn't line up. Asa and Secret Geist. What's Secret Geist? Defcon, what's up? I've been away for a few weeks. How are things going since the announcement of Netrunner being murdered by wizards? Things have been going okay. We've got a bit looser on this channel. We've been drinking beers now every stream. Absolutely just rowdy show. Glad to see you back, but no, it's been good. Netrunner is really good right now in terms of like organized play, in terms of like the card pool, the meta. It's been great. People are figuring out. We're gonna talk about that too. Nisei had some. Ooh, I have a cough, mind you. That's gonna happen. Nisei had some updates. Things are looking all right. The people that probably have to prove it are probably the same people that made Cipher broken. I don't think we ever found out enough about Cipher. Apparently, that like anecdote about Cipher being a card, I think if I'm not mistaken, Damon Stone said there was a specific card in that cycle that they thought was overtuned, but management or whatever higher ups in the chain didn't let them fix. That was actually Temujin, from my understanding. It wasn't Cipher. Has to be approved by Wizards of the Coast for reasons. Makes very little sense to me, but I guess that is. I'll give you a hint. There's some serious house parties in my off-campus apartment. At the Toronto Regional, somebody had a big off-campus apartment that CD location with a lot of connections in it, and then the Argus, or sorry, no, the Scorpios across the table, res the corporate town, and I think the commentators absolutely blew up. They called it gentrifying. It was pretty funny. I've been told directly by a playtester it went from TO one card to buy one card hand size. Oh, to one card. Yeah, that makes so much more sense. Like, just the clause attached to Cipher was stupid. It also would make it more sense with like Nat, if Nat was around for a while. Zargnar, how's it going? Hey, Andre. I finished watching your regional coverage. Thanks for streaming it. Planning to drop back in around my lunchtime to catch the tail end of the stream. Have fun. Thanks so much. Glad you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it, actually. The regionals, by the way, we filmed 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, maybe now. No, it's just 2. Games are really good. You'll see a lot of Val, but it's really good. It's actually 0 hand size. You get the idea, yeah. There's a reason you play Fall Guys. Thomas, actually, Corporate Town specifically says trash or resource cannot be prevented. So you can't stop the gentrification. They'll get you. So this is Benny Bills. It's getting really warm in here. Oh, man. This is the first Stockport Regional deck, and it's an Acme Consulting deck. And all 15 influence is spent on one card, 3 copies of. We have high profile target, which kills runners. Now, this is an interesting option. You could play Boom, and then maybe play... Boom is a trashable card. You could play Boom and Archive Memories. I'm not really sold on this one. There's so many more situations where Boom is lethal that high-profile target isn't. Specifically 2 tags. I guess you need, like, 2 of these. Maybe that's not impossible, but we got some cool cards here. I actually haven't played Attitude Adjustment. I haven't tested it enough in a reasonable way, so I'm excited to see it. But we're talking Acme Consulting, which says, the first ice encountered... Each run, the outermost ice, encountered, mind you, and not approached, which is a big deal. Well, the runner is considered tagged, and considered tagged doesn't mean they have a tag. So anything that cares about quantities of tags doesn't work. Anything that wants to remove a tag to have an effect, like Keegan Lane, doesn't work. But it has some really strong abilities because it makes cards like Data Ward better if it's on the outside. It makes IP Block better because you can't just trace through it. It makes, they're actually not running, what's it called? There's that big snake or something, the new one that came out, but it also makes this card absurd, so I'm excited to see that. You said things are looser now, Andre. Put on a fan. Audio quality, that's where we draw the line. I will get loaded on the stream before the audio quality gets bad. Did you replace your computer with a space heater, or do you not have AC because you're in Canada land? I'm on the 3rd floor. It's been like 35 degrees all week and humid. It's just how it is. We kind of live with that. I watched some of your regional streams. I have to say I dig whispering ASMR, Andre. Yeah, that comes up every once in a while. Vincent, enjoy your beer. Pikmin, how's it going? That's a fun ID. Turns out fun ice. It does. And you see some people play, like, I don't want to call them traps, but people will play other stuff like Pachinko. Pachinko is an ice that technically works with this ability. The thing about Pachinko is it's just, like, straight up. If you want, like, the best stuff, this is, like, straight up worse than just running IP Block, but... We're going to try it. Our big trick here is score, never mind, we're not playing Fly on the Wall. Our big trick here is to make them lose all their money, hit them with the 3 copies of hard-hitting news. They can't clear the tags, we high-profile target them. An NBN thing that's very potent right now is install double advance at a remote server. We have a lot of double advances here, and the question is it an agender? Is it a reversed account? Is it an NGO front? And reversed account is also brutal. If they've run, you can pop it, maybe advance it once, pop it, and then hit them with the hard-hitting news. So let's give this a shot. It's a pretty honest deck. I think the only thing that's not honest about it, if that's what we want to talk about decks, about honesty, is the Universal Connectivity Fee, which is a hell of a card. You can be broken by AI breakers, but we do have some hate against AI breakers, so maybe we'll come out even. We'll see. 35 degrees is just above freezing. Yeah. Man, Fahrenheit is so weird. Jellyhead, how's it going? Damn, I've been looking forward to this all week, but I'm so tired. I'll see how long I last. Any plans for another Sunday night stream? There's a possibility of that for sure. There's a big chance, like right before Worlds, there's 2 weeks coming up that we're not going to have a stream. Ooh, it's already Acme, that's perfect. On the basis that I have to, for work, I'll be going to Gamescom. I might be going to PAX West, so I might just not be around for a bit. So that's likely that we're going to have to do a catch-up weekend stream. My sister is leaving the city. She's going off to do her master's. So I know one of the weekends is going to be about helping her move and just kind of hang out with her before she's gone for a bit. So it might be soon. I'll let you know as soon as I hear something, but scheduling has been a bit difficult. I had a button to write that. I totally forgot. Will you play Artifact at PAX West? Yes or no? If I have time, I'll definitely check it out. Hey. Yo, something's broken here, huh? There's a lot of cool stuff to do at PAX. I just don't know how busy I'm going to be. Janktivist, hey Andre, happy Thursday. Missed the show last week because of Gen Con. Glad I can catch it this week. I totally waiting on you. It won't let me pick a thing. Let me see. How was Gen Con, Janktivist? I was meant to go this year, I'm pretty sure. Maybe we'll be fine. No, it won't let us start, huh? You going to Worlds? Yeah, Maui, 100% going to Worlds. Got our tickets. We're day one, which apparently is uncouth. It's broken. Oh, what's going on here? Things look broken. I'm going to restart it. Also movable object. Hello, Andre. Oh boy, how's it going? Oh, no one's in this room. Okay. Okay. Oh, maybe they are. Maybe I just won't know. Oh, man. Yeah, don't worry about it. JNet is kind of buggy. The icons and stuff are gone. Yeah, things are broken. What's going on here? Is this just me? Or are other people having this issue too? Tataki, how's it going? Switch to Chrome? Yeah, we might have to do it. Let's see. Maybe if we just do this. Yeah, okay, we're fine. We're fine. Congrats, Janktivist. May 13th at the NA Champs. Top 16 was my gold. Found out it was a cut to top 8. Oof. Playing against Smoke. Smoke doesn't deal with barriers well. Smoke doesn't deal with this ice well. This is totally a great hand. Hey, Zach, how's it going? What's broken? You couldn't see the names in the lobby, but everything else seemed to work okay. Also, let's get some flavor in here. There's no need to hide your dirty secrets. We already know who you are, what you are, and what you are. Hey, folks. Smoke's here with another run. Brought to you live, unfiltered, and uncensored. Here we go. Thanks. You too. Okay, let's just pull everything together. I think we need to zoom in. Just take a good breath here. Yeah, JNet was upgraded like a couple weeks to DEF CON. It's great. Oh, you haven't seen yours in several days? Oh, man. That's rough. Alright, so I think we're just going to ice up here. Generally, Shapers put the most pressure out on R&D. This is a pretty good ice. The problem with this ice is as soon as we install it, it's bad unless it's the outside, unless we have a Raven in front of it. I think we're more likely to have to res this one turn one. Luckily, where do we put this? I think we put this on HQ because there's a chance we don't put another ice on HQ unless they put down like some ridiculous pressure card. Having this on the innermost is not the best, but we don't want to ice here. There's a chance that we have this backwards. We'll see. Boonto, how's it going? I don't recognize that name. Welcome. You seen in Fantasy Flight game Keyforge? Interested in it? We talked about that a bunch last week. I think we came off a bit too negative about it. I think we'll talk about that at the news section. Also, Bertopper, how's it going? Just tuned in. Have we heard your thoughts on the rumored MWL from this morning? We have not yet. We'll be talking about it for sure in the news section, which is generally after we play the deck list of the week. How's it going, also? Thanks for dropping by. Chasing decks is more evil than chasing cards. Yeah, sort of, but if it's like depends on the format. Okay, they got money. We don't have a punishment card in hand. We have a cool card to jam behind a single ice. This card is relatively useless with a single ice because they'll just let us bounce the SMC. I think I can draw once here. That's good. We obviously want a current. An Archangel into an end the run would be the best case scenario here. I think we can draw once and just IPO out of this. And we got some agendas. Not sure there's going to be much deck chains since the competitive format is sealed. That's actually the big thing that I missed last week, is that the competitive format seems to be entirely sealed. So I don't think chasing decks is going to be that big of a deal. Sads also, how's it going? It's most likely only going to be sealed. Yeah, that's actually a big point of the negativity last week. All right, we got it. We can make them run. They might run this turn. We want to jam this out next turn. We could even just jam an agenda. Thomas, I'm also super sad I can't make Worlds. Oh, that's really rough. Sorry about that. And I emailed you, by the way, but it's fine. Oh, shit. I can actually check that up. What's up? So, their engine generally requires them to run to make money. A lot of times, Nemerker will be used like a Desperado type thing, where they boost their breaker when they're not using it during a run to put a credit on this. And as soon as they run, we're in a good spot. That's a Switchblade coming down for 2 stealth credits. It deals with the new sound, even though the new sound doesn't matter that much right now. And they have a cloak. They play 2 burst economy cards. If we hit them with this, unless they have Dive E, they're in a really bad spot. And as soon as they get through this, hard hitting news is online. And they have to break this to break this. So let's see. They break this for free. They have to get through here, which is going to cost them 3 generally for the install. Another stealth credit, which they get for free. So unless they stim hack this, we're pretty good to just jam a remote out here. We could also just go jam the NGO front. But I think if they steal this, we're fine either way. This one's also really hard, but I kind of want the money to start rolling on this one. I'm generally play Glacier a bit too defensively, and generally against a deck like this, you'll lose if you go to the late game. We also only need 6 credits, which I guess we can have. And we'll get 3 more for this, so even if they get in, we'll have money. I would go for SSL. Yeah, easier to hit hard hitting news. I think that's right. Call is the natus. Hey, Andre, first time catching you live. Much love from Ireland. Thanks for dropping by. It's like 1 o'clock in Ireland. How you doing? How's your day been? Thomas says, I'm TOing the Belgian Nationals 21st to 23rd of September. But cool if you could shed that out. Totally. Yeah, that's no problem. The Belgian Nationals 21st to 23rd of September. Where is it, Thomas? Besides just Belgium. It's going to be great with an open air barbecue and loads of side events and prizes and stuff. Don't have to do if you don't want to know. No problem. Everyone go to Belgium, says Tataki in Twitch chat. This is a Nob Curie deck, which means that they're going to be recurring Imp a heck of a lot. This also, maybe they're just going to run to put counters on here. A lot of the times the deck also runs Imp, but when they're on 4 credits, it's pretty bad. They can't really interact with us. The Imp trashing this is the worst thing, but for 3 influence, generally this deck runs 2 of them. And they're running Archives just to get a counter on here and a counter on here, so we could just hard-hitting news them now if we were like really concerned about it, or we could just score this. 3 a.m. here, and it's Antwerp at the Outpost. Thomas, thank you. I'll keep reminding that. If anybody wants to promote their Netrunner events, don't hesitate. We'll shout it out here, but that's in about a month and a half. Go for the score. Yeah, I think we can just score here. Like, next we can jam this and they can run for it. And if we score this, like, it's only 2 credits because we get 3 back. And scoring agendas is how we win a lot of the times. I actually didn't check what kind of punishment we've got going on here. Punishment we have... Oh, yeah, right. We did check. It's just that. So, if they have 2 tags, maybe they win. They're going to run after the turn. Yeah, they're just going to keep running over and over again. And we could, even if we needed the money, install, advance, pop it, hard-hitting news. And we could go for a tempo hard-hitting news here, but I'm pretty sure if they hit this, they lose. Yeah, HPT is the punishment, Lamau. Absolutely hard-hitting news them, then trash Mercur. Well, hard-hitting news is a terminal, but if they end with a tag and we don't have the meat damage, yeah, we'll definitely trash the Mercur. Alright, they're going for it again. So they can use the credits on this for anything. That includes hard-hitting news traces. That includes clearing tags, so you have to watch out for that. Adawal, how's it going? 2 a.m. in Ireland. The rumored MWL has me up late working on an Exile day for cash refresh. Hell yeah. Exile got so much better. I'm actually really excited about that. I enjoy Exile more than I probably should. That's great. We're going to talk about that later. Thanks for dropping by, eh? UCF won't steal the credits on Mercur. No, it won't. And they just went down to 3 credits, which is like the most wrong thing they could have done there. They ran. Maybe they thought because we didn't punish them last turn that they're just hoping we don't have it. But we definitely have it. Okay. And like they're going to start the turn with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so they can't even clear all the tags. Oh no, they could run once. Let's make them have a fork so they could consider running this. So we have to actually boost this one a bit because they can use the credits on here. So it's like they have 5 credits. So we're just going to boost by 2. Yeah, that run wasn't risky. It's going to be a misdirection for sure. Oh yeah, they could pull a misdirection with the Magnum. That's totally true. It's a card I should play around. But even if they pop misdirection, it means they won't have access to the SMC for other breakers and we could consider jamming. Yeah, right. I guess with misdirection you can just jam there. I totally forget Shapers are so good at avoiding tags. Exile, huh? I like bad decks too. Exile isn't terrible. Exile got good for a couple reasons with the new Most Wanted List update. But Exile honestly isn't awful. Let's see. If they pop Misdirection, it's what? 2 credits. If they want to use it, it's another 4 credits. They have some coming in. They can use these for anything. I was playing Ken and Pub Runner tonight. So fun. I don't think I ever found a Ken list that was actually like a good reason to run Ken. In my testing, it was always just like, yeah. It looks like are they misdirectioning? We just want to ice this shit up. Gotta hear this. What made Exile good besides chip off the list? Scorpio's on the list. Exile just loses to Scorpios. Compile and Exile is fun, but yeah, only one ASOP's allowed in cache refresh. Oh yeah, right? It's limited on amount. That's really rough. Ken Pocalypse is okay, but I don't even know if Ken's necessary. Like, you're playing Ken for the influence, not because of anything flashy. So this still is a lot of their credits. So we could have considered just jamming another card. Also, we probably want to score this. Hot Dog, how's it going? Cool Acme. Yeah, deck lists of the week right now. And we have some cool ice. So now they don't have breakers, right? So we can just like pop this, jam this in it. Because we have the second one in hand too. Like, they have to get through this. They have no breaker. They can get through this, but if we can bounce this thing, they're in a world of pain. So I think we might just like not even fully advance this. I think we're just going to jam Degree Mill and then score this out of hand. Rebirth to James Oxford. And there's the Imp, which now they're down to 2 credits. Well, we could hit him again. Oh, we don't want to res that. We'll just gain 5. That's an option we got. Man, I would love to play if this was like an NGO front and we needed them to run the server where you like pop one early just to jam another card into it. But it's going to be hard for them to get into this. We could also go slower if we wanted and put the universal connectivity fee on there. Like, they still have credit here, credit here, credit here, but yeah, maybe it's not even that good. That's a new card. They trash an accessed card. Plays power counters to draw things. Oh, wait, do we want to res this? Literally, probably not. They have no credits left in the run. We could have res that, actually. It's their last click. But like a single access here, we already have 3, 6, 9, 10 agendas out of the deck. I don't care. They can imp whatever they want. Our ID ability is not going to matter this game. We're literally not going to res ice. And that run gives them 2 credits. It's good. They can imp a thing if they want it. Looks like they're imping something. And they get a mash hit counter. That's cool. That's cool. That's technically an engine. So the only problem is if we lose this, it's going to be an issue because we have to score something else. So we'll just hope the 1 in 5 here. They can't get through this one, so like that's actually pretty good. So we can res this and score this from hand. If they have an SMC on the table, they do threaten Clot, but I don't think a lot of times install advance pulls out a Clot just because there's every card in our deck basically is install advance. What do you want to give me back? A doof or a doof? Oh, for Steve Cambridge, you definitely pick a doof, but you got to pick the right one, right? All right, they got 1 click left to get this, or threaten fast advance stopping. And we just went out really fast. And just like we said, like the later the game goes, the harder it is for us to win. If we didn't draw agendas, we'd actually be in a bad spot. And there's a film critic, which again deals with this, but we're just gonna go ahead and get that W. Good game. We res no ice. Maybe the threat alone was worth something, but yeah, I don't know. Is that a Bidoof? It is a Bidoof. If you don't know Shutdown Runner, I don't think they're streaming. They used to stream on Tuesdays. It's been a while, I'm pretty sure. That's like a 10-point Cthulhu combo, right? So we look at our deck, what was coming up. Oh, we have Quantum Kitty. That's actually really cool. We could have considered, I didn't realize, we only have 1 though, but that's actually a good reason why to res Data Raven, at least before they put the Film Critic down. Because you can't imp it, and we would have got it, and we would have won a turn earlier. There's some value in that, but... Jamie and Holly tonight. Oh, sweet. Are they streaming together? Let's give another shot at this. Then we'll hit that news section. Are they streaming on Holly's or on Jamie's? If it's Jamie's, it's emergency shutdown. I don't know what Holly's is. It's on Jamie's. Okay, cool. So hey, we can scout. Def had a good start with the Econ and Ice. Yeah, we had a brilliant opening hand. Yeah, cool. They are on. Oh, aye. This is good. I think watching a stream, watching another stream is actually like wild. GGA. Looks like they're playing Missy Mukunda now. Smoke deck is weird. Threat is real in the late game. Just drew so well. Hey, yeah, totally. Hey, we got Thomas in here. I'm gonna duck out. Woo! We've entered the Matrix. Yeah, it's turtles all the way down at some point. Streamception. I think we might be playing against Ken. Oh, it's actually just a Val deck. Okay. Well, look at our hand here. We got the punishment, we got the money, we got one ice. This card is actually hard to steal the early game. I think we can keep this. That's definitely worth keeping. Existence pollutes our minds, our communities, and our environment. We can't allow them to perpetuate their false narratives. The world needs to know the truth. Pick the wrong deck. Beans. Want to rehost? It's pretty sure that Thomas wanted to play Criminal. Yeah, no, do that. You host. You need to find a stream that's watching another stream. You can chain it. Okay, now the question... Oh, they left. That's actually really bad for their numbers. You gotta hit that concede button. How can Val be a wrong deck, Vincent? That's very true. I don't know. I think we wanted to see some blue specifically. My god, it's warm in here. How's everyone doing? If you're just tuning in, my name is Andre. This is Metropol Grid, and today we're making a real concerted effort. Oh, that's not right. To not talk as quickly. Let me know how that's doing it for you. Do I sound too put together? For those waiting for the beer, the shared beer of the evening, it'll be after this game. I thought Thomas was hosting. Apparently it doesn't look like it. I've seen those Q-bound Cabanessa Wu decks. Yeah, actually, oh, they are. Yeah, that's a Say It Zero. Seems cool. Talk quickly. Slow talking is annoying. In the YouTube video, you just hit that gear in the bottom right corner and say speed 1.25. Beer update, very important. But yeah, those decks look cool. Yeah, totally. I think you could do those in a lot of stuff. I support it. Ooh, that hand is great. Look, we jam this, they steal it, we C-source them and trash the resource. This is really... Go hit that button. Just talk like folksy country lawyer from the South. I don't know if I know enough about how that sounds. Here in Canada, we don't have a South. You're talking about the one with DDoS, right? Yeah. Yeah, we are. The idea is you put Cuban and multiple Cubans on a DDoS. On an outermost ice that they can't res with DDoS and with like Hyperdriver, which we're going to be talking about soon. You just get that out of the game. You just run it and they can't res it and you pass it. Woo! Scarcity, huh? Oh, man. Oh, the problem with this ice is that we want it on the outside. Is that a problem? So we can ice R&D or ice HQ. You said Q-ban 3 different ways in 3 seconds. You gotta keep them on toes, huh? We can... The problem is if we ice R&D and they steal this, we look real dumb. If we ice HQ and they steal an agenda, it's real dumb. And there's like, I think 7 out of 43, and this is 1 in 4. We lose to indexing, and you can't let that happen. If we play this, it's even worse. I want this for the remote. Okay, we're gonna take a big risk here, chat. Please get lucky. And they're Val again. What happened? That's a 52 card Val deck? I don't know what's happening. Any IDs you hate playing against? As soon as I see Smoke, my interest wanes. It's weird. I've heard a lot of people say that for some reason. Don't love Smoke that much. I think a lot of Smoke decks are similar. I was glad that the other one isn't. They just drew By Any Means, Fall Guy, Fisk Investment Seminar. We're just gonna get Clan Vengeance, huh? Maybe they're on Tag Me, I don't know. But we're fine with Tag Me. What decks do I not like playing against? It's actually kind of hard. You don't have to play around SSL Steel then. Why not just give the agenda one turn and then play Scarce turn 2? Because generally they set up early, right? Like they just jam a bunch of resources. We are going to get punished hard here. That's bad. That's real bad. Oh, yo, Dataki, we are playing 108 card max tonight. Spoilers. It's happening. I rebuilt it. It's actually really good. It's definitely happening. If 99 card max can work, I don't see why 52 card Val can't. Yeah, it's happening. I thought they would set up. Yeah, maybe Zach, you're right. Maybe we don't play it. But like, what do they set up on turn 1? There's not that much. I think they do credit liberated most of the time, and disrupting that's okay. Yeah, that's probably a mistake. Confast, how's it going? District 99 max with 99 cards, amazing. Yeah, District 99 helped a 100 card max deck a lot. That's into a tech trader. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. I'm assuming that they might be on Kangamata Gabahali, but that was absolutely brutal. We'll take the money, thank you. All right. It's important that we had a current for that, but we don't, which is an issue. So we don't want to get any of these trashed. I think we just ice R&D here. This is a nice ice, or HQ, excuse me. This is a nice ice for remote, but we have this, which is fine enough. Yeah, P.Tech. There's that one 300 card Professor deck. I haven't seen that, I don't think. My thought is just to play the SSL to remote. You would just install double advance it? That's honestly probably good enough. Yeah, they probably don't check it. Yeah, Compass. Love when I get a catch a stream. Always fun. Glad. No double advance? No, I think you always double advance it. Because otherwise, what don't they run that's not advanced? I think if it's double advanced, they think it's a... I think it's an NGO and they don't run it. MK Ultra, mind you, in the bin. Hacktivist, Clan Vengeance. Might not even be on 0 if this is like the new list. I don't know if they... You want them to run? I don't want them to steal this. I want to score it. Then we get the credits anyways. And then they just mad dash it. This deck is running multiple mad dash, no doubt. It should be really funny if they did it. I don't know what this is about, honestly. Fall Guy gives them 4 now. That's worth something. Install double this isn't particularly good. I think we can draw once for an ice. We got an ice. And we can make them run into it, see what they're about. And Rashida draw will set up a good server hopefully soon. They run, steal, you get the drip, and the Scarce stays up. Yeah, if we didn't play the Scarce, yeah. If it's a Rashida, though, they definitely run it. That's the problem I have. Oh, it's a DDoS, so they just gain 2 credits. Can't get Apocalypse this turn. Can't res this. They trash a Rashida for 1. For free, actually. Wireless Net, Pavilion, Fall Guy, Paparazzi. DLR rotated. They could be on all that stuff. I just don't know what resources they need to protect. I think Fall Guy is just for value. And they're definitely running 3 DDoS. It has a trash icon on it. Let's go get them singles. Can you pronounce Plague? Hey, Andre, what are we up to tonight? We got a lot of news to talk to, and then we're playing 100+ max card decks. We're just still on the deck list of the week. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. I have a bit of a cough. It sounds real, right? Oh, boy. Damn it. Uh-oh. I think they just saw our hard-hitting news off the top. I don't know about that play. I think you do double advance it. Alright, damn it. That's a good sign, actually. Like, that makes us feel excited about what we got here. DDoS also kind of goofs with their ability. It's important that you know that this is encountered, not approached. So that even if they DDoS and we res the second most ice, it's still good. By any means, Paparazzi counter surveillance. I don't know how they would go tags, though. Don't I have a paid window? No. Nope. Once you're accessing, you can't do paid stuff. What did they see that they wanted a paid ability window? Like, they needed to pop Fall Guy? We have nothing in our deck that costs like 7 to trash. Good riddance. M for M is not needed. Mars for Martian supposedly removed. Yeah. It's not removed. Removed, actually. Is it banned or is it... We'll find out soon. They're running HQ here. 2 good accesses. Beans. Banned. Oh, great. Good. You definitely trash that for free, huh? They didn't trash that. They could have trashed that for free. What is happening? What's going on here? Okay, that makes sense. They didn't want to steal that, I think, because they wanted the 4 credits off of this. Ban. Sending a message. They wanted 8 cards for hard-hitting news. Creds. Yeah, it looks like they did, but they could have trashed these. I don't know. We don't have hard-hitting news. We've truly entered the Matrix. I guess they didn't want to shuffle. Yeah, they didn't want to shuffle that back, it seems, but... Okay. I just don't know why they don't trash this. They have bad pub. They do it for free. Like, that's not right. We can install double this. They'll think it's the NGO front. I think they'll put the pressure on HQ, and this ice doesn't do enough. Oh. Okay. Respecting baseball bat? It's like 3 influence. And they have cards in hand. You should definitely steal that, risk the hard-hitting news, and then gone to 7 with Fall Guy. Yeah, I think you definitely steal that. They'd be on game point, right? Gotta maintain the 8 credit threshold, right? I don't think so. In this deck, like, you just have to make sure that you have 7 can clear 3 of the tags. And even then, the chance of us having double hard-hitting news or double kill card, even when they have I've had worse in their hand, like, nah, you can get hard-hitting news here. It's totally fine. Interdiction in hand. How's it going, Dardstar? I really doubt it. They don't have a way to tutor. It doesn't seem good. There's actually the other reprisal. The other NBN reprisal is like solid. Alright, so they're going to start mad dashing shit. This deck is now obsolete by the most wanted list. Respirocytes? Maybe not entirely. But we're going to lose 2 cards from hand, which is scary. We don't actually have a good play with this. I didn't even consider whether or not they would have ran next turn, and we want to get this down before we lose it. So they lost by any means, which is good. We lost. That's not great. But we can at least put them down to 0. Wait, there's a new most wanted list? There's a leaked most wanted list. We'll be hearing official news in the next 2 to 3 days, but it looks like it is, yeah. It's one reason not to trash NGO? Oh, interdiction. No, I think you trash NGO for free. Because then the other damage like this is more dangerous. Hacktivist. That's kind of annoying. JK. What's our play here? We don't need more money. Like, we really don't need IPO. We just want ice on this remote server. That's what ice looks like. And we'll jam this next turn. This ice is good enough on its own. They're on 3 activists for sure. This is the second one, so I feel pretty good playing this for value. They have a lot more resources they want to install, and I don't want to let them do that. Get out. It's also a thread on StimHack. Yep. It's on Reddit. It's basically everywhere. It's definitely banned. Yeah, paparazzi's coming down. So we have to have enough money to trash paparazzi, and then if they go tag me and kill everything, paparazzi's definitely going down if they're on by any means. So we just need to keep enough money and then hit them with the big one. Do you want to trash the degree mill out of hand and mad dash for the win? That's probably not a terrible play here. Okay, so we want to score this. This server looks good. They might not respect the tag, and we honestly have no way to leverage the tag. So we could just make them lose 4. We can make them lose all their money. You know what? I'm a spiteful dude. This takes a click, right? Oh, that sucks. Well, here. You don't need money. It's fine. Yeah, I think Mad Dash is definitely how they win. And now they know the agenda's in hand. They could blind Mad Dash that. They can get through this for 3, 6, 7, 8 credits, 7 with bad pub. They can't really play a current to get through this. It's hard. Did not see that coming. Good thing Mad Dash will be restricted. Yeah, Mad Dash looks like to be a restricted card, which surprised a fair bit of people, but I don't think it's unreasonable. Tapworm banned. Seriously? No more fun with Hyperdriver. Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. We will talk about that soon, for sure. I think there's some cards that people are surprised about, but I think if you think about it, you can convince yourself that it makes sense. I'm also really excited because I believe Boggs, I'm going to see what we threw out there. Boggs has done a good job at explaining why he or his team has banned certain cards, and I'm excited when an article comes out that says like, hey, I wanted to ban this for this reason, here's my thinking, because Boggs is really good at explaining his thinking in articles. Okay, 5 cards in hand. They can always steal this, but they need to get through this. DDoS gets to this. They could play Gabali Kangamato through that and Mad Dash. We have a slight chance we're going to lose here. I'll find out. Of course, FFG had to take one last pop shot at Criminals with the last MEWL, and the game started hating on Blue Econ card. I don't think Tapworm is that important right now in Criminals. I don't think it did much for them. They weren't really playing it. Tapeworm is one of the worst Netrunner cards ever made. Masai, you're gonna have to explain yourself a bit when you say something like that. Maxwell Errata is where it's at. Yeah, Maxwell Errata is actually a huge deal. Oh, we just got fisked a wee bit. That's a really big deal. Tapeworm was way more of a green card disguised as blue. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Maxwell was just not printed the way that they intended it to, and it just was way too good for one influence. Tapeworm promotes a do nothing strat. A lot of those Shaper cards did. Now they're gone. Altogether. Literally a prison econ engine. So how can they capitalize on Fisk? They could be playing Severnius Stim Implants. Seems okay. We drew our 1-2, which is pretty good. Off-campus apartments coming down. We do have C sources in this deck, but I think at 0 credits not gonna run. They paid 2 credits for that, and they can't really afford to put anything on it, so that might have been a goof. They might have forgotten about this little small thing in a corner. It's pretty easy to forget. Threw out a levy, that's a restricted card. Good to know. Do we score this? It's honestly might be an NGO front. I don't think we want to score it. I'd actually rather score this out of hand. What's the chance they're on turntable? Pretty high, considering the way their deck operates, and there's no other really good console that works with this. I think turntable is pretty reasonable. Alright. So, if we want to play this, we're going to make sure we end on 8 credits, which means we ice. What have they shown so far? They've only shown the Sentry Breaker, so... R&D... I'll put this on archives. I'll do this. This looks safe in here. Looks like an NGO front. Long live clone chip, huh? Yeah. More like unexile. Tapeworm makes no sense from a flavor perspective. How can the corp being rich be a good thing for the runner? But it does. It's like what's it called? They drew a DDoS, Clan Vengeance, Hacktivist 0. So it's good we double iced this actually. Double icing HQ had some value. We could have done that instead of archives. At least it's 5 for them to install that. And they drew Hacktivist, though, so we could consider pre-resing this if it was anything besides an agenda. Hopefully they play it, because we'll remove it immediately. Trickle-down economics. But that makes sense. Like, if the corp has a lot of money, now you have a lot of money to take from them. And we'll argue it makes sense. How long does it take after an MW update? Does it take for JNet to update? Probably not long. And if it does, like, you can just do it yourself. As long as you play a legal deck, it's fine. But like that's not a thing they have to implement on JNet. They just like tag certain cards to the most wanted list, so it could take like an hour. What's the office space thing? Were you taking pennies? Yeah, I think so. It's like the penny rounding. Oh, so how's it going, Terrence? More transactions, more money, more skimming. You take a penny off of everything and then Superman or something. I don't know. Pennies on the dollar. It's been a while since I've seen that. All right, they're doing a real good think here. If they want to play, they're playing 0. No surprise. They're playing Clan Vengeance. That's their second one, as far as we know. They want to clear the current because they can't afford any of that stuff. We haven't actually seen enough connections. So Scarcity's trashed. Hacktivist is coming down. But they still can't jam any of their things, so I don't know. Giles or Jeffs, how's it going? Hi, Andre Chat Fam. How's it doing? Vicky also, what's up? Thanks for dropping by. How are y'all doing? How's your week's been? Good. Thinking about going back to Shaper finally. Shaper's looking pretty okay. Vicky, is that most wanted list confirmed? No, it's by no means confirmed. It's just speculation. Officer Frank, that's a connection. That draws a card. Same old thing coming down that lets them play Paperclip. That lets them play not much actually that we're scared of. That seems okay. Preemptive is a pretty good card. If they trash and don't access, we know they have a DDoS, but they literally have no way to make money. It looks like next turn they're going to take meat damage and run archives to pop this and get 2 credits when they pop this. Or 1 credit, I guess, because it does cost 1. I think we can just go ahead and score this. I don't care too much about... Ice actually seems better than the NGO front. That's the last Hacktivist, too, which is pretty good. It's unfortunate because we just turned off all their news hounds. Because we did just clear current, so like HQ is actually pretty shitty. But we want to get the trashable out there, because if they run and trash it, they can get the agenda. JNet pulls MWL info. It'll need a real announcement, though. Yeah, they're not going to do it until anything's confirmed. And also, it's very important to know, don't get your hopes too high, because this isn't confirmed. I think most people are happy with it. But we have to find out sooner than later, because it's a month till Worlds, and it's not like they're going to announce the most wanted list 2 weeks before. They need the same old thing for the levy. Yeah, they probably do. They're probably running more than one. And they're just gonna click for 4. We can get. Wow, this is now a trash. I think we just jammed this. It means turntable's not an issue. We go down to 8 to 9. We could have waited for a current, but I think that's their last activist. So what are they gonna do, Levy? Don't listen to Andre. That's the hope. Yeah, okay, whatever. Just like. You gotta check your sources and all that. That's like basic journalism stuff. We're losing 2 cards from hand this turn, no doubt. I just wish Val was on the list. Oh, man. I don't know about that. Val needed targeting, and she got some minor targeting with the list. Vincent's saying my sources are solid. Okay. Supposedly, it takes a decent chunk of time for FFG to get back to Bog, so it was leaked for fairness. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? It was generally leaked for fairness, because everyone should be on the same playing field. The playtesters shouldn't get that sort of advantage. Tugboat, how's it going? Welcome to the chat. Where are you tuning in from? The combo is off. Zero's coming down. Clan Vengeance is coming down. By the way, if the new most wanted list is true, you don't have to deal with this shit no more. Fuck this card, huh? That's the most negative we're going to get today. You can play Max again with Scorpios on the list and have very few reasons to play Anarch. Max got really good. Max got super solid with the new most wanted list. Like, Clone Chips was solid. Poria, Illinois-ish. I think that's what how states work. How's it going? All right, so anytime we draw, they're going to see what we draw with Corvid Defector. We could just go ahead and jam this and see in desperation whether they play after it. Making them lose their money is not particularly that good. We also know they have a DDoS in hand, which, man, they get credits when they fire this. This is definitely, well, it's only 1 influence. I think having some money here would be good. So there's a chance that they'll just go desperate through this because it's game point, and we're respecting this sort of pressure. If they do, it's fine. Jim, how's it going? HQ, who needs it? I don't know. That's not important. None of these cards are important. One DDoS got trashed by 0. Oh, thanks. Actually, huge. Again. Too many screens, right? So they did lose 1. It looks like they're installing a fall guy, draws a card. That is a 4 credit card. If they want to draw a card, they want to put it on there. 0 is the first card named after the amount of copies you're allowed of it in your deck. It's very good. I like that. I'm very happy with CC. My XL deck is now up to tier 17. What? Oh. You can just click on OCA and move a thing. It has your back. Yeah, if you want to install this on it's anything if you want to host it. If you install it, you can't like do it later. But if you just click on this, you can move it over. Like you can't do it 3 turns from now, but if you install it and you goof it, you can fix it. Will they flat out remove a card that just came out though? Yes, they've done that before. And 3 IDs when they're never restricted in an ID before seems odd. I think it makes sense to restrict IDs. They have restricted cards as soon as they've been released. Venatus Armory, Salvaged Armory was the first time they did that. Blue Moose got restricted pretty soon after it was released as well. Like, there's reasons. Originally from Canada Junior, Minnesota. So, oh, hey, how's it going? Welcome. Yeah, Vanitas died very young. I think it showed up to, like, maybe a week of tournaments before people were like, wait, no, we can't let this happen. This is going to be a mistake for everyone. Blue Moose legal for 1 tournament. Yeah, it was legal for regionals around here. They're going for it, huh? DDoS, 2 credits. This whole deck falls apart in a week, hopefully. Blue Moose was legal for 1 regionals. Yeah, for our regionals. And we were sitting there playing Andromeda being like, wow, this card may be 40 credits. How is this a good idea? So they have to deal with a News Hound. They don't honestly have to deal with. There's no current. Cipher, the first card named after the number of copies you're allowed. Corey just showed you up, Ido. Real good, too. Yeah, Cipher means 0, so we can't res this. Wrecked. We're going to res the News Hound, right? Because then they either have to take a tag. This is their last click, too, so the tag matters. So they can break... They can't. So we can actually, like, dump all their money into this. It's Trace 3, which isn't particularly great. But we can actually just res this and use it. And now they have to decide. This will make them more likely to break it. I think to break it is 3, 6, 7, 8, so they can't. So it looks like they're taking a tag. Played DLR Max at Gen Con last year. The only econ in the deck was 3 casts, 3 moose, 2 siphons. All you need. Once they have a tag, what can we do? If they have no fall guy, we can trash this. They'll fire this. We can trash this. And if we worried about same old thing into levy, we can trash this shit too. All right. Yeah, we have enough money to afford this. So they have 7, so we can. They have 6, so this is legit. Now we're all playing crippled decks. FFG's got a poor track record with 0-based hardware. They lose their mind when it comes to that. All right, they got a tag. That's good for us. All right, so we're gonna mandatory draw here. Ooh, Quantum Kitty. Doesn't help us win. So they should pop this before anything. All right, we lost the recursion card, whatever. So we can trash this, credit, and an IPO out. Seems fine. It's only this one I don't care about. Officer Frank could just like get them a win somehow, but it might not even necessary. If we had an agenda that was like worth jamming, we would just jam it. That's the second DDoS. That's the third DDoS. No punishment in the deck. I've had worses are worth counting too, so they probably have 1 in hand. So like even if we had like 3 copies of high profile target, it's unlikely to kill. I guess we only need 2. Or is 3 always kill? Nonetheless, we can credit into IPO. If we want stuff to res, we need not a lot of money actually. Whatever, I'll do it. Let's see if they clear the tag. Trash same old thing to prevent levy? We could. The thing is, I'm pretty sure we'll win before they levy, considering all their tricks are out of their deck. Their deck has like no economy. They are 2 Clan Vengeances out, 3 Currents out, 3 DDoS out. Like, I'm just not scared of them anymore. Third DOS, yep. I feel a lot of the changes make sense in a continued meta, but makes less sense given that this is the last most wanted list. They really should have Pop Frank. Yeah, no, they didn't take meat damage. Oh, they did take meat damage. Yeah, you're right. Oh, they just played Levy? Fuck. Okay. Same old thing to play Levy. So we could consider trashing it, honestly. We probably should have. I guess they only played for 3 credits, too. Like, yeah, we should have played it. Trashed it. Yeah, they did take meat damage, right? Because they 0. They definitely should have popped Frank. If they pop Frank, though, we don't trash the off-campus. So maybe that was, like, their bet. And hopefully we just draw an agenda and we just go ahead and jam it in. Clear the tag. All right. Now they have no breakers. That's a big thing. DJ Fenris is pretty sick in this, huh? Sick in what? In this deck? That sucks. Probably be a killer value net card 40 deck. DJ Fenris is okay. Seriously, we have not a lot going on here. This does nothing to help us win. Because there's no way to get to 6 points in this deck. Yikes. This is not great. That face when you can't find your agendas. I know, huh? We definitely should have trashed the same old thing. But hindsight is 2020. They're now at 13 credits. Okay. If we jam this and they mad dash it, we lose. If they don't know what our deck is, a single advance might be fine here. We have no punishment. The preemptive we actually might have wanted to play. They also have hacktivists. This is going to be rough. Inject. Hits a double paperclip in an orchestra, so they gain 2 credits off of it. So they can consider breaking or running, more accurately. How do we win? We have to make like a really good server. Like 2 data ward? The second data ward actually doesn't do much. We'd have to go like data ward Raven. Raven in front of this is fine too, I guess. But we need also our meat damage cards. Like if they're tagged, literally there's nothing we can do. They don't even have to run this actually. A single advance means nothing, but at least we can rob them 12 credits. We can also do advance, leave it. Nah, it seems just... Yeah, maybe advance, leaves it. They have a chance of running it. No exchange in this deck? No. There's no exchange. Just meat damage killing. Second inject hits the same old thing. Street Peddler, Frank, Tech Trader. So that's the full Tech Trader suite. And now with things like Street Peddler, it's hard. Like if we close their accounts, they can install a card and generally make 2 to 3 credits. No clip yet. They can't break ward. They actually just got clip. They did. Yeah, they can't break this. You're right. They DDoS this though. Like they have 3 DDoS in their deck, so we have to put another ice in front of this thing. So I think we do another Raven, I guess. For the new most wanted list, I'm also glad with the ban of Estelle Moon. Any card that enables a no ice deck seems ridiculous. Estelle Moon was one of the only cards, besides Rashida, but she's not that poisonous, that actually gives tempo for spamming assets. There's no other card that does that now, and that's a really big deal. That's a huge deal. I think it's gonna like be the biggest deal. Also, Museum rotates too, but I guess like Gagarin didn't play Estelle. Estelle was such a silly card. Okay, so what do we know about their hand? They just threw out a DDoS, which they don't do that unless they have another DDoS. Moons is ridiculous, yeah. Turtleback helps, but like, yeah, right, Turtleback helps, but it's just like Pad Campaign helps. Estelle draws cards, and drawing cards is the best way you can smash more assets. You don't need credits to smash more assets. You need cards to smash more assets. Clone Suffrage is good through going restricted, which is a potential issue. It's unlikely. There needs to be more hand fill cards. Like if you can spam Violet level clears or Ultraviolet, that might be an issue. I think if you spam Restore, it might be an issue too, but I don't know. We could advance this, see if they run it. And then we can hard-hitting use them. What do we do for our final click is the issue. We can put another ice on top of this. I hope they actually use one of their DDoSes to get in here. Because then Raven into this is just like annoying. Not a lot of econ like operations anymore. We've hit 2 gambles, 2 IPOs. So drawing here is just a mistake because his last click draw, so we're just not doing that. Should have been banned a long time ago. It just shouldn't have been printed. I think it's very easy to see that card as a problem. All right, come on. We can close this. Just hit him with the reversed. I want them to run. I want them to do something desperate this turn because I think they're going to lose. They're never going to run it? No, but we can pop them for now. All their money? If they do run? Like, they might not run this and they run R&D, we pop it hard-hitting news. Like, that's the play. Again, we haven't drawn a single punishment card. I've already built a no advance, hard-hitting new, high-profile target outfit deck with the shipments and clone suffrage and team sponsorship. Ugh. I think if you just play misdirection, though, that deck doesn't do anything. But that's an interesting idea. Specifically, like, the outfit can only punish with hard-hitting news and C-Source, which you can tech against at least hard-hitting news. But if you're giving them bad pub, like, it's the easiest thing in the world to trash assets. Oh, we're going to lose 2 cards from hand. Yeah, we should play around this shit. That's how we lose. Yeah, they're not going to run. Pretty sure that deck doesn't do anything even without misdirection. Yeah, maybe not. Alright, they hit an iPad worse. It looks like we actually just might lose to R&D because we have no preemptive. Like, they just run archives, we lose. We have to jam an agenda here. They're not going to run it. And as soon as we fire this, they're going to go in desperation mode and run. Not great. Sounds basically like Gagarin, but giving them bad pub to trash your assets. I think that's probably pretty apt. Yeah, well, there's the game. There's a DDoS on there, we lose. Ah, we fucked up. Should jam the agenda. Another Officer Frank. Goes the whole city. Ah, well, we don't lose, actually. What do they do now? Ah, beans. Never gonna try Gagarin out of my binders, though. I'm not that person. You seem like you're... Oh, okay. Well, now we lose. Yeah. This card's getting restricted, by the way. Yeah, we just lose. We should have jammed the agenda. 100% wrong. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these decks, right? They just do nothing in Attack HQ, so he's just jamming their remote every turn. Well, we'll talk about that real soon. I'm going to go get a beer. We'll talk about the news. Did they take any meat damage? Yeah, they did, because they installed one of these. They might have even hit 0. I'm not sure. Storm, how's it going? You discussed the new most wanted list. We've been talking about it in that game, but we're going to talk about it just right now. Actually, we're going to go through the news. It's beer time. That it is. I'm actually kind of glad though you don't have to deal with these sort of decks. There's a lot of decks like this in Toronto that was just like a Nat deck that just ran Clan Vengeance by any means, like all the trash stuff, over and over again. And I don't know. A lot of people don't like them. The Val decks seem more fun, I guess, but they put pressure on remotes. That's like, you can tell this deck has very little remote pressure, so we should have just jammed. Like, sitting back is never right. It's never right. Okay, I'm gonna grab a beer and like towel down. I'm joking. Hello, Eric, aka Hot Dog. Is that Eric? Which Eric is this? Oh, they were typing in chat. I'll be right back. Gonna hit the hay piece. Hey, Ido. Thanks for dropping by. Sleep well, huh? I don't want to drink all this water. Tonight we are drinking the same one we drank a couple weeks ago. It's a milkshake IPA. Passion fruit, mango, and vanilla. It looks like orange juice. It tastes like orange juice. Steven, what's up? Have some time while it's dead at work. We're going to be talking about some news. There's some news that came out today. That was a Secret Geist deck. Oh, I see what you mean now. Yes. Geist, right. I don't even know. Do you need Tech Trader? Like, is economy even that important? Cheers. All right. I prepared for the stream, mind you. We got lists open. All right, most wanted list is the last one we're talking about, so like buckle up. This came out today. Not today. It's not correct. If you're just tuning in, this is the Match Ball Grid. How's it going? Them hazy boys, yeah, right? It's poor as beans with that Tech Trader. Just run data folding. Your credit a turn. It's good. Crack open a cold one. Yeah, let's go. All right. This is something that actually I want to talk about because we had a lot of conversation about this in our meta. And if you see this, because okay, that doesn't work. When this showed up on Netrunner DB or on our Netrunner, there's like a lot of comments. There's like 160 comments on this thing. So I'm not going to go too deep into it, but basically this is Run the Net, which is a blog by The Big Boy. The Big Boy is a very, pretty well known in the Netrunner community deck builder, specifically. Built some of the very prevalent archetypes, like Dumblefork is probably the one you're most familiar with if you've been playing Netrunner for like 2 years, I think it's about the time. Anyways, so Big Boy just recently wrote this article, Why Tournaments Aren't Welcoming, and it's not that long. I recommend that you give it a read, but basically they open with the fact that they never enjoy tournaments, and this is why. And I'll be honest, not a big fan about this article. A lot of the responses are not that entirely positive either, but there's some interesting things to talk about. This answer, by the way, is hilarious. Just absolutely did it for me. This is how the Big Boy, a lot of their reviews for cards and the Stimpak cards was just 4 out of 10. I don't want to rip on this dude. I think it's like very interesting to talk about this, but basically they talked about how the idea of there's different kinds of play. When you're starting as a child, you do parallel play. The idea that two people play next to each other, and then you do social play. And it talks about like the social agreement you make when you show up to play Netrunner with somebody else, which is the basics of the social agreement a lot of people have with Netrunner is let's both have fun because we're just doing something for fun. But then that kind of does differentiate when you come to a competitive scene like a tournament, where a lot of the times the most important goal for a lot of people at tournaments is not have fun but to win. And so a lot of people will play decks that remove your opponent's ability to win. It removes interaction. It basically gives them the highest win percentage. A lot of times you see this with like Asset Spam decks, things like negative play experience stuff. And whether that's a problem, I think it's a problem of a design largely, but this specific goes out and calls. They make up a character called Hugo, who's a poorly socialized child. And I think one of the like theses of this article, and I don't think actually Big Boy wanted it to be the thesis, but basically saying that anybody who goes to a competition and values winning over the social contract that in theory we've all agreed to of having fun with one another is somebody with some that is poorly socialized. And I don't think that's at all true. It gets into these conversations about like who's fun. It's this has come up before in Netrunner many times in other games of like, is my fun more important than your fun? And is the idea of we're playing fun Netrunner versus I'm trying to win, what's more important? And then it comes down to like who's having fun for what reasons. Like I know people in my meta specifically that don't have fun playing against non-competitive decks on the basis that they feel if they lose to them or they win with them, a lot of times it was luck and not good piloting because the decks aren't reliable. While other people love that thrill. Like I don't think it's right to say that someone's fun is more important than someone else's fun, but look, I'm not going to go into this. You can read it, read the conversation because it is fascinating. It's a very interesting conversation to have. But there's one big point of this article that I totally agree with. I think is a huge deal. And I think a lot more people are talking about. And that's the problem with the majority of organized play in Netrunner to date, whether it's official or unofficial from the community, has always focused on just like straight tournament structure, where the person who's going to be the most exalted or going to be the most rewarded is the person who has the most wins at the end of the day. And any scenario in which wins are the ultimate currency, people are not going to care about how much fun your opponent has. And for people that are casual Netrunner, for people who don't care that much about the competitive scene, people who want to play their exile deck, whether or not it is competitive, you know, that can be an issue, and I think that's important. But I think the big problem here is that organized play does not have enough support for people that don't consider themselves to be competitive Netrunner players. And that's a huge problem. Other games do different things about it. I think specifically one of the big reasons, or the way actually I got into Netrunner largely, is we had like a weekly league where you could show up and you could just play up to so many games. It went on for a couple weeks. If you missed a week, you could catch up somewhere later. And I think they did count your wins, but they largely counted your games. We've been doing it at the Randolph Boutique. We haven't done it in a while now, but we'll have like a league where you show up, and if you play a match, you get a raffle ticket. If you win a match, you get an extra raffle ticket. If you played someone you've never played before in the league, you get a ticket. If you like first time showing up to it, you start with like 10 tickets. Like just fuck it, who cares? And then at the end of the league, you get first pick of prize support on a raffle draw. And I love stuff like that where everyone feels like they're very not exactly equal, because I guess you still probably want some incentive. Maybe you don't to win. Maybe you don't honestly need that. But there's a discussion here about what fun is and whether we are obligated to make sure other people have fun at the most competitive tables. And I don't think you honestly are. It's maybe a problem that the game isn't the most fun at the most competitive tables to most people. Maybe that's a problem with the game design, but we're not going to get too deep in this rabbit hole. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. John, how's it going? I want in on this conversation. The best Netrunner in Montreal has always been when players care about each other straight up. I've lost games hard, laughing, but NPE is a huge problem, and I'm glad Boggs is trying to stomp it out. That's a good segue when we get into the most wanted list. It looks like Boggs is going out of his way to make sure that the games are more fun, and that it's not about I'm trying to remove you from the game, as opposed to like I'm just trying to win. Slightly different, but gotta catch up on chat. Thomas, one of the most important things in the article that people seem to gloss over is that basic idea of be a Netrunner player that you would like to play against. That is a cool idea, but a lot of people in my area want to be the most competitive Netrunner player. I want to play against the most competitive Netrunner players. That's how they challenge themselves. That's how they strive for greatness. Does that mean they're poorly socialized? Straight up, no. But it is interesting. I've always a lot of fun trying to win against NPE decks. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm also really satisfied when I win against decks that are super competitive. Steven's saying you can be highly competitive and still have fun. You can also be super not competitive and not fun at all. Yeah, it's a huge spectrum. I don't think one precludes the other or demands the other. That's a mean thing about the author. We're not going to read that out, I'm afraid. Literally equating a tournament player to a poorly socialized child. SMH. Oh, man. Anyways, it's interesting. Also, like, it's cool from just the person who comes from this, because this person's been, like, in the Netrunner tournament scene for a long time, and the fact that they didn't like the tournament scene and they're speaking about it now. It's definitely interesting. Read it. Read the conversation, because a lot of people have a lot of different things to say. Speak your mind in here. It's really important that we talk about this stuff now, also, because perfect segue. Nisei Selection Committee reses the board. If you're not familiar, the Nisei, the Netrunner Initiative, something, is the group of people that have come together to continue support for Netrunner, whether it be printing new cards, whether it be organized play, or just keeping the game going. And people submitted applications, and they've just chosen their, like, I think it's 8 top positions, and I'm really excited for this. I want to see what they do, and out of these positions, I don't know a lot of these people, and that's I'm not saying I know a lot of the inner stim hack people, but this also comes up in the comments, which I think is interesting. A lot of the people don't know some of these people, which means that probably the applications were based more on merit than just like an in group of friends, and that's kind of exciting to see. Shout outs to the people I do know. Gregory Tung came second at Worlds. Absolutely brilliant deck builder. Had apparently some really cool designs submitted. Jacob Morris is Jaco Draco, who does the UFAX, continuing to be the rules manager, so in good hands. I believe Holly Chandler is right now in, if I'm not mistaken, in Jamie's stream. She's streaming. And David Whittington, I had the pleasure of meeting at Worlds last year, came in from New Zealand. Apparently this guy has just been huge when it comes to the organized the playtesting scene. Anyways, this looks really great. These seem like great candidates. To all the people that applied and didn't get selected, that's obviously sucks. You can still get involved, and they talk about that here. They need more than just these 8 people, so do get involved if you want to. Excited about this. People have some really positive things to say about all these people, so things are going. Things are moving. I'm hyped as heck for Nisei board. The tongue is great. I got 2 heartbeats signed by Greg Tung. Exactly, heartbeat was a big thing that he got representation for. Brain rewiring was an issue, and Gregory Tung put heartbeat in his Haley deck, so it's great. I never play the most competitive decks because, man, winning isn't the most important thing, but that's me, and I respect others who feel otherly, but as long as it doesn't come at the expense of my own fun. They've said specifically that they choose based on merit and community participation. After Worlds, I think I'm going to step away from the game for a while at least. I'll keep an eye on Nisei and hope it goes well. I never completely am out of games, yeah. I'm excited to see what they do. They have some pretty strong, they said what they wanted to do. They want to make organized plays their number 1 continuation. After that's card design. They have a diversity coordinator, and they want to make sure that the game is as accessible as possible. Just like good stuff. There's also like always conversations about why is accessibility important on Reddit. If you want to read about that, maybe you do agree with it, maybe you don't, but there's a conversation to be had at least. Dodge Pong, I agree with it for what it's worth, but if you want to talk about it, people are largely being respectful in that conversation, I think. It was North American Continental Championships last weekend at Gen Con. For all those who went to Gen Con, had fun, whether or not you played Netrunner, hopefully had a great time. Still haven't been myself. I'm not going to spoil who won it, but congratulations to the winner. Congratulations to the person who came in second. Canada was represented at that top table, so huge shout outs. It's obviously, you can find it at twitch.tv/dodgepunk. I think we have Spags doing a lot of the commentary. It's pretty great. Coca-Cola, I agree with the idea. How's it going, Coca-Cola? So check that stuff out. A bit of a forewarning. There's a lot of CI combo and a lot of Valencia Klein Vengeance Zero. If you don't love that stuff, you're going to be watching a lot of it. It is still technically top table play if you care about that. If you want to see more variety, maybe watch the cut, the day one. I think everything I saw at the top was all, Val and CI, which is fine. Spags and CTZ doing commentary is a highlight. Oh, it's CTZ. That makes sense. At Crit HD20 is really active in the online cash refresh tourneys, and they're really insightful, helpful, and thoughtful in the Slack chat in addition to being a great player. I'm super glad that a lot of people have a lot of good stuff to say about that group. Okay, let's hit the I don't want to say the real stuff. Everything else is real, but this is like what we've been talking about. This is what people are hyped about, huh? People are hyped about Nisei. Look, I'm going to stop. All right, so this is what happened today. Somebody showed up, according to, I think, on to 4chan, and anonymously said, this is what the most wanted list looks like. And it's important to know that we were promised the most wanted list before Worlds. Worlds is like 8th of September, so we're like a month away. And we need a most wanted list update soon, just so people can start building their decks. It's not like we would expect one 2 weeks before the Worlds. We would expect one now. So according to the stories that we've heard, this is going into validation, and it needs to be sent off to Wizards of the Coast for some reason and Fantasy Flight. And once they approve it, this will be published. But the person behind this list said, I want to publish it just so everyone has enough time, or as much time as possible, to prepare for Worlds. We'll get a nice even playing field, all that good stuff. I do always hear rumblings from playtesters and behind the scenes of what's being tested, what the future will look like. And this does, at least to me, line up with what I've heard. Not saying that this should be 100% right, obviously. This could be entirely false. Someone could be having a joke at everyone's expense. Like, validate your sources. It's hard to validate this one. Fuck you. Oh, man. Let's talk about this. Because a bunch of things have changed. I made some deck lists. How do we want to do this, chat? Do we want to just go in order? Because, like, I don't want to spend too long talking about this. I imagine I'll do a video once anything has, like, been 100% dedicated, and we'll go through it, what we think it'll do about the meta. But, like, let's just talk about what's exciting here. So cards have been taken and added to every single list. Let's start at what's being banned, because that's always the heaviest hammer. And we're going to start with the corpse side. On the corpse side, there's 5 cards that are banned. Friends in High Places is still banned, great. Museum Sensei's Actors is still great, and then 3 cards got added to this list. And if you have any questions, any comments in chat, let's talk about it right now. Firstly, Estelle Moon has been banned according to this list. I'm not going to keep saying a speculative list. We're just going to assume it's a list. Fine. This card is nuts. It is the backbone of acid spam decks. It's the backbone of CI's combo decks. It's a backbone of a lot of like real degenerate acid spam stuff, and it's the only card in the game that gives you card draw based on how many assets you spam, and the best thing you can do when spamming assets is draw more assets. So this is absolutely insane. So this is getting banned. Not at all surprised. This card was overtuned when we opened the box on day 1, and it still is today. I can't believe it wasn't banned. It was restricted, not enough, and they've also banned Museum of History, which is a big deal. This card does allow those like grindy decks. It used to be restricted, but now it's straight up banned. This card still does see play in certain decks, mostly Gagarin decks. This changes the value of trashing assets. Now, if you trash an asset, you're pretty sure it'll be out of the game unless they spend operations on it. So, I have comments. Let me tell you. If it's not, let me know. Estelle Moon deserves to be banned because it's so incredibly powerful for no cost. There's literally no cost for this. There's no tempo loss. If you res this and install another card, you get all your money back. The trash cost is more than the res cost. It's crazy anyways. The other card that has been banned is 24/7 News Cycle. And a lot of people might be surprised about this. I think this card is actually banned specifically for one reason. It might have started to see play now with cards like Fly on the Wall, which says when you score it, take a tag. I just realized I put my beer somewhere. I'm gonna spill it. And it's actually really scary with this card. It's a lot harder to set up than it used to be, but you can forfeit an agenda to give the runner a tag, to exchange of information, to like close their accounts, and that can be game winning. I think actually the biggest reason is that this card is still in the game for some reason, and I was considering playing this or testing this for Worlds. Score a brain rewiring, then forfeit the brain rewiring after it's scored to fire the ability on Show of Force. I think Zach was playing this, or maybe it was John Delisandre who was playing this recently. But it's just like a non-interactive, oh, you died because I scored 2 agendas combo. And that seems like such an issue. There's very little meat damage protection that's not like specifically put in decks for specific reasons anymore. And I think this combo definitely would have shown up at Worlds. Whether or not it's competitive or not, I don't know, but it seems really good. All you have to do is score this, and at some point in the game, score this, and in the same turn, play 24/7, you win. And that's it. Anyways, glad they got rid of that. There's other ways you can play it with like other Wayland agendas, but now, mind you, this isn't an entirely banned list because you can't fit IDs on that, and they're actually banning an ID. This is the first time that we've seen this happen, where an identity itself has been added to the ban or restricted list. Fuck. And it's cerebral imaging. Cerebral imaging has been, a lot of people have strong opinions about this. This is probably the most competitive corp ads to date. You see it all over the top cut in North American, and if nothing was changed, you'd see this all over Worlds. This card is just really hard to balance. You can hit all the combo cards in hand. 7-point CI combo from hand exists modernly, even though we've lost things like Power Shutdown. And the designers don't like that. I think that's a big deal with this list. It seems like Michael Boggs specifically wants to make the most fun Netrunner Worlds, or the most diverse. So they're taking out all these things that like are uninteractive in any sort of way. Vincent's going to shed a tear for CI. And there's a lot of really strong CI combo players for sure. But you're just not allowed to do it anymore. Having an HQ of 10 cards and then people running HQ to get that single casino access is not going to happen anymore. But I'm kind of glad. This card is a nightmare for balance. Not like they're printing more cards, but we'll see. On the runner side, a lot of weird things got banned. A lot of wild things. Mars for Martians. The card that give you credits based on how many tags you had for one fucking influence. Like, this is another card that when it came out, people were like, what the hell? It means that the only punishment to tags is either closed accounts does nothing. This card also made it super trivial to play Clan Vengeance. Like, Counter Surveillance. Like counter surveillance has a cost associated with it, but it's just like, oh, I'll play this, and then I'll play this, and then I win. Like, I don't get it. Glad that's banned. And of course, no surprise, Zero has been banned. We just played against the Zero deck. This card is insane. Even people were talking about whether you ban Zero or whether you ban Clan Vengeance. I'm glad that they went with Zero because Clan Vengeance is still fine in the niche deck. This did get worse, obviously. But Zero, even without Clan Vengeance, is playable in Anarch, and this card is insane. Other stuff that got banned, Hyperdriver. Hyperdriver is an efficiency card. We used to see this in Haley decks just to help them set up, but it's also a big part in uninteractive combo decks that want to rip the board apart Apocalypse and then make like 12 runs in a turn. Could it have maybe been restricted? Maybe, but they just wanted to say, fuck it, let's be safe, we'll ban it to make sure Worlds doesn't have uninteractive combo decks. And Tapworm, a lot of people might be confused why this is here. It'll be more sense when we see the restricted list, but it's also a relatively uninteractive card. If you protect this with Satcons and other recursion cards, it's just going to be up there all day, and there's just nothing you do about it. So long, Zero, I would never miss you. I wouldn't say that's getting more diverse since a lot of these bans are hitting rogue meta decks, but I'd say it makes the meta a lot softer. I don't even think that these are rogue meta decks. Like, Valencia Zero is everywhere. CI was everywhere, at least at the last tournament. Maybe not everywhere, but at least everywhere in the top cut. I remember when you first did a video for Mars for Martians and how you weren't a fan of what it could do. Exactly, like I remember this card coming out and being like, wait, this is a one influence card that punishes or that rewards spamming tags in account siphon back in the day. Mars for Martians can never be balanced with Lies of counter surveillance. Yeah, they just can't. If there's cards that give you a tag a turn, like, anyways. Let's talk about restricted stuff on the corp side. Some cards got added to this. Brain rewiring, that was always there, right? These are always there. Clone Suffrage Movement is no longer banned. It's now a restricted card. And this card still has the potential of being problematic, like any other recursion card. This card can be trashed. There's a little else recursion to recur it. But specifically, the cards I'm scared about is if a Clone Suffrage Movement fires and gets you, specifically, like something like an Ultraviolet, that might be an issue. That lets you like build a stupid Jinja server over and over again. Restore also could potentially be an issue because if you pull that back, now you can restore like some garbage asset and like you can kind of spam like that. One good thing maybe you want to try, Clone Suffrage Movement was actually pretty good in Blue Sun back in the day when you had Overstate AI, because you could Overstate AI in Ice, protect it, have it protect Clone Suffrage Movement, and the beginning of turn bounce the OAI Ice, and then fire Clone Suffrage Movement to get the OAI back. Now, OAI isn't in the card pool anymore, but you could try Building Blocks, because this one doesn't get trashed if they break it, which is pretty good. So this might actually be something for Blue Sun specifically, but it's also just like a fine asset card. Recurring Currents also is pretty good. Like if they don't trash it, now you get back your that current that costs an extra click that I don't know the name of right now, but that's fine. Other cards. Isn't there a big one here? Yeah, Brian Stinson. People don't like this card. It's restricted, which largely means people are not going to be playing it. Restores RFG hits a spam use case. It does, but then you can still like just spam every turn a Lady Liberty or something. But it removes the other copies at least. Brian Stinson is now restricted. That's actually a big deal. This card was put into many decks without any consideration. If it fires, you just gain 14 credits a lot of the time, and then the game swung so hard. Like the punishment associated to being less than 6 credits compared to the other less than 6 credit cards is absolutely insane. Even like you could do turn 1, gain like 30 credits if you just played this turn 1. It's insane. It's crazy. Violet level clearance is now restricted. That's a big deal. We did see that in the last printing of the Champs decks, so they're playable again, one to trash. But without CI, is this card good? It probably still is fine, and it probably still can be played. I think it's really good with Jinja City Grid. Draw a lot of things, put it on that server. Now, mind you, it is terminal, so it's harder to play. CI played it trivially. And then, of course, Surveyor, which has been a card that's been a 3 of in basically every deck. I think the problem with Surveyor is not that so much it's a good piece of ice, and it's probably one of the better pieces of ice in the game, because I think it's fine that Wayland has good sentries. But specifically, that was a 2 influence card. This card should have been 4 influence. It easily could have been 4 influence. People might have considered splashing one of them into their deck, which is probably okay. But the problem with Surveyor being restricted now, it makes a lot of Wayland decks worse, because a lot of Wayland decks would run this and Global Food Initiative, and now they can't. So that's kind of rough. Now, there's also 2 other restricted corp cards that are IDs. We have Potential Unleashed. And again, this deck isn't specifically like just crushing tournaments everywhere. Potential. But it seems to be with Michael Boggs' idea of let's make the game as fun as possible. So you can still play Potential Unleashed, which is probably still a potent deck, but the biggest thing is you can't run Potential Unleashed and Obokata. And if you've been seeing Potential Unleashed decks, a lot of the time, they'll grind you down to having too few cards in hand, and then just score naked Obokata protocols or behind Nikakugo. So if you want to play a grind deck with Potential Unleashed, there's going to be a bigger risk associated, because the 3-pointers are going to be much easier to steal. Probably not playable at competitive fields, but this is a really strong ability. With people playing Zero or not playing Zero, this also got a bunch worse, but that's great. And the other one, Scorpios. Scorpios is a competitive deck. It's kind of a negative play experience for a lot of people. Like, you run, you access an agenda, they remove from the game your breaker, there's very little you did about it. This card is now restricted. And that means you can still play it, but the funny thing is this card is restricted, as is Hunter Seeker. So, like, do you still play a Scorpios and just don't play Hunter Seeker and play, like, Marcus Batty and Rototurret and all that fun stuff? I think it's definitely still possible. You just lose Hunter Seeker. Maybe you have to instead play things like Trojan Horse. I don't know. Maybe if people don't tech against it, it's fine. But I think more people are going to be playing SacCon based on what happened on the Shaper side of things, so it's probably not even good anymore. But Scorpios just got a lot worse, so do shed a teal colored tear. And lastly, let's finish with the Restricted Runner, which is pretty interesting. What's been added? Mad Dash. This is a card we've been seeing in a lot of decks. The prevalence modernly of cards like indexing as like a 2-of in most every competitive Anarch deck is a really big deal, because you can index, find a 3-pointer, and Mad Dash win. You saw the game that we just played. A lot of the times people will play Mad Dash just to take damage, and then Mad Dash archives and win. And it just changes the amount of agendas you need to win in a game, sometimes to 2. And it just is, it costs nothing. It costs no influence. It's kind of crazy. Now, if you are playing a deck that's running indexing, I think also a big thing that this might prepare for is Insight decks are getting more and more popular, and they'd run Mad Dash. If you still want that sort of effect, if you're running something like Insight, if you're running something like Find the Truth, mind you, Adam got a bunch worse because of this. You can still run Freedom through Equality, which is basically one career fair worse than Mad Dash. It is a current, which gives it some flexibility to dispel currents, but you gotta make some choices here. You can't just spam all of these in one deck and then win off of like a single Insight, which is probably good. The Insight decks are getting pretty popular, and they seem to be pretty good too, so I'm glad they're preparing for that. Otherwise, not too much else. Nothing got added here, I don't think. I think they'd removed things. Just let's double check that. Yeah, they removed things. They removed 2 cards. One of them I'm actually pretty worried about. That's Fairchild 3.0. This is one of the best ice in the game. It has one of the most punishing face checks in the game. It is undercosted. This could have cost 7, maybe even 8. And it's 3 influence, which at least is better than Surveyor. I think you're going to be now seeing 2 Fairchild, 2 Surveyor, and Mati Makundo decks that are running behind things. The face check on this ice is absolutely fucking brutal, and you have to see that this ice can be in any deck. Like, you could be running against like an Argus deck, an Outfit deck, and you hit this on click 2. It's just so rough. It's so rough. So I'm scared for that, because Glacier is probably okay. And this is like a really, 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 really good piece of ice. So you're going to see this everywhere. They unbanned it. That's really good for HB too, mind you, because they no longer need to have this as a restricted card. So start running First Click. And actually, maybe one of the best ways to deal against this is that the other card that's been removed is Clone Chip. And this is actually one of the bigger, quote unquote, bigger deals when it comes to this most wanted list. Clone Chip is an incredibly flexible card. And this does something for just about every faction. I think likely the best is for Shaper and Anarch. Because now you can recur stuff. So if people are running a lot of those big old ice, you can start recurring Davids. Hell, if you're playing StimHack, which you probably are, because everyone's playing StimHack, right? Femme Fatale can start to be installed at speed. And that's really good, again, if people are running bigger ice, if they're going to a Glacier meta, and that's insane. This is a really big deal for Max, if she can run Clone Chip. Also, with it, less Scorpios, things like Max are safer. This is, again, a big deal for Exile, with less Scorpios, with less anything else. This is a big deal for any faction that can start playing Clot. So Fast Advance gets really strong in some way, which I doubt it will with less CI. Maybe Asa can Fast Advance in some way. You have access to Clot. You have access to things like Lamprey Lock. You have access to things like Exer Spam. Aesop's Pawn Shop builds got better because they can clone chip in caches, double install with Haley. Like, there's a lot of good things you can do with clone chip. It's an incredibly flexible card. Clone chip, like, people kind of complained for a while that program destruction wasn't good back before the heap breakers were played, because they'd be like, Shapers just clone chip back their breakers. What's the point of playing Roto Turret? And that largely has been the same way anyways because of the heap breakers. So we'll see what clone chip does. But it's scary. Maybe the Trapano on interactive deck will be good again. I don't know, but clone chip has been on the MWL since its began, hasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it has. Yeah. Trapano's still bad. Yep. Yeah, it is. That's fine. Point being is, like, we're not only talking about a competitive field. Clone Chip is a very flexible card. Maybe you want to start playing Street Peddler again so that you can surprise Clone Chip Claude. There's some cool stuff you can do here. They had to unrestrict Fairchild 3, I think. HP is so dead without having it. HP looks pretty good right now with Fairchild 3. Not a lot of other hits on their side with Jinja Grid with more clearances. Like, they can really jam pretty quickly. Totally making a Clone Chip Geist deck. Yeah, you could do Clone Chip Geist. For 2 influence, it's a fine card. It's really not a bad card. Draws you, lets you reinstall even if you want to play the Break and Enter suite. But, okay, just to recap this. This has not been official. We're going to be hearing really soon whether or not it is and whether it changes. Am I surprised about this list? I'm not really surprised about that much. I wouldn't have predicted Hyperdriver to be on here. Mars for Martians being banned is kind of wild, but it's very hard for them to do anything else about this. There's some sort of surprises. Like, I'm surprised. I thought they would maybe just restrict this so that you can't play Brain Rewiring and 24/7 News Cycle in the same deck. I'm excited about Clone Chip. The meta seems pretty wide open because of it. But we'll see what people have to say about this. The one thing that I'm surprised is, like, they definitely hit CI, which seems to be one of the top competitive decks right now. Yellow didn't get hit very hard. Like, Asmari decks are still good. Glacier, all that stuff is still pretty good. Mati Makundo got a bit worse because then now can't spam 3 Surveyors. But I thought they would, like, really target, like, that Val deck we've been seeing forever. And I guess they kind of did. Mad Dash makes it a bit worse. I think they'll just play Freedom instead. But the fact that they lost the engine, the Clan Vengeance engine, the Clan Vengeance Zero engine, puts them, like, kind of back to where they were a while ago, where they were still a competitive deck. And with Clone Chip, they can now start playing David. They can even start playing things like Mimic and injecting them with impunity. So you might see a wider like, diversity in breakers, which is maybe exciting, but things still Clan Vengeance. Things still pretty good. Oh, Wizaway, did you talk about Maxwell James? Thank you, Maidan. That's actually one of the bigger deals as well, and this makes Glacier decks a lot better. They're eroding the text on Maxwell James. This card we've been saying forever is broken, because you can pop this when you're encountering an ice, so that you can de-res the ice, and the corp can't re-res it for 1 influence. And now you have to use Maxwell James right after the successful run on HQ ends, in the next timing window. So you can't pop it during a run on a remote server. It makes this card a lot worse. It basically makes it like a copy of Emergency Shutdown that only works for remotes, that gives you a link that you don't have to keep in your hand, which has some value. It's still not garbage, but you're not going to see it as, like, the 2 influence splash, 2 copies in Val decks. That actually is a big deal, considering we are going to see, like, Fairchild 3s and other things that you want to res on servers. It's the fault of all the people who complain ETF shouldn't be in the game. Non-CI HB decks have been pretty weak since ETF went away. Being able to play GFI and FC3 is huge for sports metal. Yep. Yeah, HB did get a bit better. Also, Michael Dunnick, how's it going? CI needed to die in a fire. Just unfun. The other stuff, especially CSM, is slightly disconcerting. CSM is Clone Suffrage. I don't think Clone Suffrage is going to be an issue. Just because, like, the Acid engine got a lot worse. You still have Rashida, but it's very hard to make that an issue. Maybe Clone Suffrage is an issue. Like, what restricted card is, like, Gagarin playing? Oh, it's only 2 influence. Maybe that will be a problem. We'll find out. The new ruling makes Maxwell James work in a way that makes sense. Yeah, it makes it a lot better. Everything is good except for Crim. Crim is probably still alright. Like, Eliza still has problems with tags. She got a lot worse from Mars for Martians, but, like, I don't know. Crim is okay. I'm a little sad about the list personally. I always would want more off of the list than adding more to it. You know, Dumb Brick, I feel you with that. It seems specifically for this last Worlds that Boggs wanted to have the most, like, least NPE stuff, the least, like, uninteractive stuff. So this list makes sense. If I'm not mistaken, the the what's it called, with other games. Generally what they've done is for the final after Worlds, like I think they did this after the final Worlds for that Warhammer Conquest game, is that they've done a final most wanted list and a final FAQ, and then they've closed their game, they've washed their hands. So this might not be the last list, but this is at least what we're looking like it's going to be for Worlds. Can we talk about how the fuck they left Consulting Visit? I don't think Consulting Visit is inherently poisonous. Why do you think so? Building box Chiashi in front of CSM, bounce to hand, net 7, fire CSM for BB. Yeah, we talked about that a bit. I don't think it's particularly good, because then you'll be flooding HQ. You can just go trash the Sensies, the clone suffrage movement, and that puts them far behind. They're spending like what? 1 click to gain 7, as opposed to like the more quote unquote reliable Adonis, which is 1 for 3. It's actually more. It's like 1 for 9 because you bounced on the last one. Are you upset Scarcity didn't make it? I don't know. I think restricting Scarcity just means no one plays it. I'm just upset that Scarcity wasn't eroded. I think Scarcity should be first time a turn. That's all I really care about. Especially with no meat damage. SIU Judge, Hard Hitting Noon, Boom, HPT. But everything together is a problem. SIU Judge, I don't think that's going to be happening that much anymore. Like, I don't know. The Gagarin decks haven't been performing very well in a competitive field. Whether they got better or worse because of this. Some of them were running Surveyor. Those got worse. Not having Museum makes them a bunch worse. It makes them 49 cards, though. Maybe that's better for something. I don't know. But, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they do play Clone Suffrage. But what are they recurring? Like, they don't have really good operations. Like, are they going to recur Hard-Hitting News? If that's the case, you can play, like, removal cards. Econ Warfare? Yeah, you have to run for that, though, I guess. Yeah, that's, I think, yeah, we talked about that a bit, actually. Clone Suffrage Movement has a chance of being broken with Econ Warfare. I think we talked about that when this card came out. It also has a chance of being a problem with load testing. There is that mythical deck that says you have no clicks to spend on your turn, which seems really not fun. We've seen that. We've played it on the channel before. It works. I think it might be missing a couple cards now, though. I guess without CI, it's a lot harder to play. Anywho. A lot of news came out today, obviously, and I wanted to do a really fun thing that has kind of been like a treat on this channel that we haven't done in a long time. So that's enough for that. We'll definitely be talking about that more once it gets like confirmed. I was just logged in. Did you time out, my friend? If you're just tuning in, my name's Andre. It's the Metropole Grid. It's too warm. I'm talking fast again. On this channel, we've been doing this thing back in the day where we used to play a 102 card max deck, and we had a game night kit this Monday. And I was thinking, what are we going to play? Got to play something fun. And so I started building some max decks, and then I realized, wait, can we still do this thing that we used to do? And the thing with this max deck is actually really competitive. Oh no, max 102. At least like competitive enough. There's definitely some variance when you put 102 cards in a stupid deck. But back in the day, this deck was kind of nuts. On the back that all you need is a Faust installed, and then all this card draw. Like some versions of this deck were running like Duggars. Some were running like Vigil and Earthrise. Like you would draw at the beginning of turn sometimes like 4 cards. But Tobal, how's it going? A lot of these cards rotated or got banned, more likely. So like we can't play Yogg anymore. We can't play Faust. Parasite was really good too, considering we could farm Data Sucker tokens with freely. And Deja Vu was a stupid card because you just brought back 2 Parasites. So the basis of this deck when when I thought about doing a max 102 fell apart. Because we didn't have enough like ways to get into our servers. The idea was with just Faust on its own, because with this deck you don't draw well, and you needed as many cards that were as flexible as possible. We also couldn't run DDoS back in the day because there was too much influence. So you needed cards that were as flexible as possible, and having Faust and Knight were really good, and we don't have those anymore, let alone Parasite and Sucker. But we have modernized this list, mind you. Now we have all the cards, and I think it's fine. It's actually 108 cards. It got bigger. Funny enough, it is basically like 90% of a competitive Val list, a modern Val list, plus like 50 other cards, which is pretty fun. And I'm actually not pleased with this deck yet, and I feel like it could do some tuning to it to make it even better. And I think we have one really easy start here, which is actually dropping Employee Strike to run Femme Fatale. We have playing double the Vals. One of our guys was on D99 max with 99 cards. And let me tell you, actually, Dumb Brick, District 99 is one of the best cards. There's actually a lot of cards printed that make this deck insane. And the first one is District 99. It only lets you recur a card that is in the same faction. So it means that if we lose our DJ Fenris, which is also a really good card when we become Steve Cambridge, we can't get it back. But every turn, you're generally trashing a hardware or a program on accident. And then you can just recur stuff. It's like a permanent deja vu, but it's slower and more expensive, but whatever. We also can enjoy the Zero Clan Vengeance package for another 3 days or whatever. We hope it is. This is more card draw. If you get these down together, you're really good. The biggest thing about this deck I don't love right now is that the money is not reliable enough. The other deck had Caddy Jones, and if you got Caddy Jones down, that was enough money for the rest of the game. And we don't have Caddy Jones, and there's no like good permanent econ solution in the game right now, at least for Anarch. So I had to play Jackpot, which upsets me. But it's been doing okay. I got 6 credits off of one. We'll call that a win. And what else has changed? We have Mining Accident now, which is really good. It's actually really good right now. We have Emakua, which is basically, quote-unquote, our Faust. We also have Cradle, which has turned out to be pretty okay. I like running things like Cradle and Mimic, like just backup breakers, which if we draw them, they're good with enough support. And then we still have David Data Sucker, but not too much has changed. Now, the biggest thing that I've noticed is I haven't played Employee Strike. At the GNK, we played 4 games. We won 3 of them. The other one we lost really hard because economy mattered on turn 1 against the CTM. That was a problem. But I'm thinking of changing the Employee Strikes to Femme Fatales just to have more options because we have Retriever Run and we can install that shit for free. Because our economy is actually more limited than it used to be, and not paying to get through Toll Booth is pretty good. We'll play it like this and see if the Employee Strike matters. The fact that we can't draw the Employee Strike regularly, like we can't recur it with any card in the deck besides Same Old Thing, because you can't recur it with District 99, makes me not want to run it that much. And I'd rather run Femme, which we have a chance of just retrieval running for free, which is good. Cradle is the exact opposite of Faust. It is. And the other card, actually, that makes this deck so good is they just went ahead and printed Blue Moose for a 99, 108 card deck. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. This gives you 2 credits a turn. It lets you throw cards out of your hand so that you can like throw out a Femme Fatale, retrieval run it in theory. It lets you power up your District 99 on your own terms. It's nuts. It's literally like the best card. Oh man, this card is crazy. And it gives you MU. MU is tight in this deck. We also run 1 copy of Lamb on the basis that I didn't know entirely what to do with Influence. And this is one of those kind of cards that if you draw it, it lets you deal with multiple kinds of ice. Which again, in a deck that doesn't draw reliably, it's good to have answers like this. It's like, oh, I got a Lamb. I can break 2 ice probably. It's also not a bad breaker. Let's play this stupid nonsense. If you got any feedback, I think there's 1 card that we wanted to include in this. We have DDoS in it. There's like 1 card that I felt like this deck really needed, and I don't remember what it is. Yeah, there's 1 card that I was like, wow, we should really have this. It's like a modern Anarch card. What are we forgetting? Immolation Script is not bad, Blake. We could definitely do that. But it's like, that's the problem with this deck is like you want to draw cards that are like good when you draw them. There's a chance that we want to go to fewer copies of Fork, Knife, and Spoon. Against controlling the message is not very good, but our economy is not good. Glut Cipher isn't it. Crypt is always the farthest from being it. There's definitely 1 card. I don't maybe even wasn't even a new card, but there's 1 card that was like walking home from that tournament being like, whoa, if I played this, the deck would be even more reliable. It's a mystery. Divide and Conquer, we have that actually. We have 2 copies. That's actually one of the big deals. The difference between this deck and the previous versions that made it a lot worse is that it does not have multi-axis. The only multi-axis we have is 3 Turning Wheel, a card that we have no way of recurring if we mill it. And that's an issue. So we can play Divide and Conquer. We could consider playing Xer. Xer is not fantastic. And like card slots are really important in this one, but so basically Divide and Conquer is our multi-axis, which is pretty weak in terms of multi-axis. Let's go ahead and get this in JNet. Let's play some nonsense. Street Magic, Super Inago, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Guinea Pig was a consideration, but the problem I found out with this deck is that you're holding like Knifed and Spooned. You're holding cards that you can't install right away, like your retrieval runs. So while Guinea Pig is really good when it comes to specifically the 2 copies of Cradle and 108 cards, it's just not probably the right fit for this deck. Just drawing for free is good. 109 cards would be too many. It really screws with your variance. Also, I don't think I said it. Hi, Alan. How's it going? Man, Street Magic could have been good, right? Oh, we're just gonna. This is. Yeah, what's happening here? Abyss stares back. All right, let's do this. I played this against PU back in the day when it was like 102 cards, and we've got milled out. It happens. All right, harpsichord. That's like wildly different than anything else. Against harpsichord. All right, all right, fuckers, buckle up. That's new to me. We'll do what we do best. Let's keep them entertained while we wrap up this project. Thanks, you too. So cards in this matchup that are the most important. Economy is the most important. Employee strike is the most important. Multi-axis is not that great. Mind you, we can only steal one agenda a turn. So we're going to mulligan this card hand because it's kind of trash. Yeah, it's better. It's definitely better. The deck might not get to shine as bright as it would have PU unrestricted. You mill yourself pretty fast, actually, in this deck. So economy really matters. I want to get this down as soon as possible. The problem is, okay, so we got a Black Orchestra and lost the DDoS. The problem with this card, we want to get it on the table as soon as possible so we can recur things. Problem is that we need money. Frantic Coding can't play. Spoon can't play. Ice Carver is the only card that's installable on this one. Forked, unplayable. Another District 99, and a Jackpot. So I think we definitely play the Jackpot. It's going to be easy to fire in this matchup. So I think we can just play this click for 2. If we inject, what can we inject into? Armitage, gamble if we hit a program. We want to get this down before anything else. But we've already trashed the program this turn. If they don't do anything, we can always like day job out of this. And I want to make sure we have 2 credits next turn to day job. So I think we're just going to click for a credit. They're not going to go fast. We don't have to. We want to make sure we have at least 8 credits. All right. You're going for it. Let's go get that Jackpot down. Cool thing about this card is if there was a program or hardware on this, we would have got a counter because it's the first time each turn, including the runner's turn or the corpse turn. Got a counter because we trashed a David, got a David in hand. And we can consider day jobbing out here. If they score a Beal, it's like not that bad for us. This is likely actually a Rashida, which is a problem. But if we need anything right now, we need money. So I'm just going to go ahead and day job out of this so we have 11 and we can start interacting with them. David is good. Deals with Toll Booth, largely Archangel. All right. Just got an Airs. All right, looks like it's an acid spam deck. Oh, that sucks. Nothing we want here. Ice Carver is probably not necessary. It also is pretty bad if we do hit Toll Booth because we can't David it. This is like watching a Maestro play. I think we want to inject here. If we get a Dirty Laundry, and it's probably pretty stupid to play around certain cards considering we have 88 left, but at least it gets through our deck. Damn, we're good, huh? We want to get 1 Axis a turn. We want to also find our Clan Vengeance because we have a 0 and we can disrupt their stuff. It does fire this off, but whatever. We'll get the credit lead. We don't want to run last click because they're likely to run TGTBT. Fly on the wall. We'll take that. Trash Jackpot. We have no reason to do that. We take the money here. Running again is bad because we access an agenda like Explodapalooza. We can't steal it, so we don't want to do that. We can probably 0 for draw. Sorry about the CV deck, Andre. Try to do something interesting with the card. Oh, hey, no reason to apologize. You're poorly socialized. That's a reference to that article. So what can we do here? This is going to be a valuable card. They're definitely running IP blocker resistor. We could just get this down so we have it. If it hits this, it's really good. Stimhack also has some value, but we don't want to run HQ twice this turn. Do you think you could free up the influence for clone chip in this deck once it becomes unrestricted? I don't think there's a need to. I really don't think it's necessary. That is probably Mwanza City Grid. Right, like the thing with clone chip is it's good, but like most of the cards that we care about them, like we can always recur them with retrieval run or something. It's 2 influence, which is a lot. Influence per card, you have to keep very low in this deck. Like you could jam indexing into this deck, but like I don't want to put 3 influence on a single card because the chance of us drawing the card is super low. So I try to put 1 influence max per card. I think Lamb is actually the most influence. Let's find out what's in the server. I guess we can gamble first. We can also just stim hack it. If we hit this, we look dumb. Oof. You can definitely play a better max with clone chip unrestricted. Yeah, generally you can play a better max. This actually might not even be an... okay, this is probably a Rashida. Oh, it's a GFI. All right. Trash Jackpot. We have so much money, I don't really care to do that. Maybe they didn't res because of David, but with 5 credits, I think we got to start running R&D now. We can hit this and hope we hit the I've had worse, which will draw us up into too many cards, which seems kind of rough. Clicking to draw seems pretty dumb, so I guess we'll just hit that. Fuck, we hit it. All right, what do we need? Data Sucker has some value if they're keeping centrals open, but we don't run R&D anymore. Career Fair is really good. This is an insanely good card. Worth knowing that trashing cards is not the same as installing. We want to keep our money. I don't think we're going to play Day Job for a long time, but it's a nice panic button. This deck is so much fun. Suckers are really good, actually. What's the biggest barrier they can play? Like, IP block is not an issue. We can throw that out. Stim hack is good, considering we have Peddler and we haven't installed any programs from the heap. We definitely want this. I think actually we're going to go throw out the Day Job. I honestly don't know how many Career Fair targets we have from this point on. Trash, Day Job, and Knifed. You nailed it. I mean, CV plus 0 is dumb, but on its own, it was never really a problem. Yeah. So we're pretty sure that this is a Mwanza City Grid, which is a card we're just never going to run HQ. Because they have to jam into the remote, and the remote looks like trash right now. Alright. We lost another jackpot, so this card is insane. I don't know how you use it. Do you know how to use this, chat? Do we click on it? I think we'll just run R&D here. Do you click on this one? 5 credits, not a lot they can res. Okay, that's a turnpike. We honestly don't have an answer for it, so we're just going to trace through it. It's trace 5, and if they're playing Quantum Kitty, we don't want the card. Click it before playing the card, thank you. 5 is a lot. No, okay. If we hit a kitty, we'll look dumb. We're not going to get value out of this turn, which is pretty rough. Hard-hitting news, that's fine. If we clear the tag, we're on 10. If they do Econ Warfare, we might have an issue. But we can always, like, clear through that pretty fast. And they're not drawing an agenda, I guess. Thematically, I like the idea of hurting yourself, blaming it on the corp, getting your clan buddies to go to war with them. It is kind of cool. Alright, they're drawing. Credit. 4 credits is not a lot. We're not really scared of them. We break this for 3 credits. Ooh, stock buyback. They have 9. We can compete with their economy, though. Okay. We lost Career Fair into casts. I think we definitely want to play this for 6. So, play this. Trash a card to lower the cost by 2. Alright. Not too bad. So, our big game here is actually to find our MK Ultra. We did not find it. We can inject here. We did not find it once again. But we know we have DDoS, Retrieval Run, Stim Hack. So, if we had Femme Fatale, we didn't draw Employee Strike, so it's not even that good anyways. And the big thing is we just don't want to run Mwanza. As soon as we run Mwanza, they have a billion credits. Trash and Career, I think, would be better than Day Job. I don't know. I like this right now. Do we need Paperclip in the bin? We do, but we can always throw it out next turn. We're going to throw out 2 cards here unless we get this down. I like the Patchwork can feed. Yeah, you can feed District 99. Like, this card's really good. And maybe even by next turn, we'll throw out the Paperclip to, like, I don't know, to install the DDoS. We should be good. Alright. So we hit it. So we can recur any faction card if we need to. So that's basically David's a lot of the time. It's DDoS's a lot of times. It's Cutlery a lot of the time. And we just need to find our breaker here. I don't think the DDoS actually is going to have some value. We can install it with the Paperclip and then hit it. The Armitage actually seems pretty good, but we have a lot of money on the table. So click this, hit this. So we install that for 1. Now we can take some damage. We also want to find Clan Vengeance. Turtle's pretty good. They're likely on Amakua, and running Archives is risky. They're a lot of times on news teams, things like that. We also have a Find the Truth, which is good. Problem is, we can't really play it. Not Find the Truth, excuse me, Divide and Conquer, because that Mwanza can be an issue. I think we just really need to draw. Okay, another Patchwork is garbage. We'll take some money. Oh, we also lost the 1 card we wanted. Retrieval Run still wouldn't have found a Fem yet, but we just need to find an answer to this. And we don't want to run HQ. And as long as we have enough money, we can get through the remote server unless it's like Surveyor. Actually, we can get through Surveyor now. Don't need one of these. You don't access upgrades with DNC, do you? You don't access them, but this says anytime you access from this server, access 4 more. So I can't trash it, and it will fire. Click patch, click card to play a card. Perfect. Yeah, Patchwork, so Career Fair is 1 credit better than any other blank card. In theory, we could have Career Fair, Patchwork, and installed or liberated for 1 credit, which is nuts. I think we run this. And now we can't run any servers, so it's going to be a really slow fucking game. We lost the turning wheel. That's a huge issue. That's our only multi-axis. It's not like multi-axis is specifically good against this deck. Same old thing has some value. I think we want to install that, but I think we can run this first. We'll DDoS run it. So currently we can only not break sentries. We can break everything else. We can also consider stim hacking this remote, which seems probably better. Yeah, we'll just stim hack it, whatever. Could be a snare, which is fine. They're likely on snare if they're running Wanza. But like they have a lot of cards to go through. It's in their best interest to wait as long as possible because we mill 3 cards a turn and we have no recursion. Like no levy recursion. Turning wheel would be good if we drew strike. We do same old strike and then access like 30 cards from R&D. Hopefully don't dry to snare. No DDoS. It's all good. I don't think we need a DDoS here. Well, yeah, they might not even res anything. All right. So we can theory install Ice Carver for like value. Maybe that's not good. It lets us break Raven for 3. It's an Explodapalooza. All right. Well, we're gonna have enough credits here. We can steal it. We can take 7. I think it makes sense now to take 7. Wow, we lost that card. That's great. And we are now at 5 points. So even the Mwanza City Grid has a big chance of losing the game. I don't think we need to fire DDoS. None of these cards matter. We found our Sentry Breaker. In theory, we can install it for free by throwing out a stim hack, but I don't think we need to. Let's just take more money. And we'll just basically run anything in the remote. We can now run R&D, but that Mwanza is really scary. This might be a grind of a game, but like we set up pretty well. This is a really good rig. We still have more money than them. Install for free. We could stim hack it. Don't think we care. We have all our breakers. We have enough MU. Diana Chacon. I don't love that. So now we can't get through it with David. God damn it. We didn't DDoS it, but like we fucked ourselves with the Ice Carver. We talked about this, right? At least they spent 8 on it. Oh, they made us pay. We can break this though for 3 on top of it. So maybe this was wrong. I think it only helps us with like Newshound, which they're not running currents a lot of the time. -1 strength for endless EULA. We don't have to install anything here. We can just pay 6. Once we get our Lamb, we're really good. We break this for 2. We don't need to install a paperclip. Money matters. This is 5 strength, so that's fine. It looks like they just lose here. 0 credits, they can't fire any trap. That's a Rashida. That's fine. Oh, we took a tag, of course. But we're definitely going to fire that. So they can still res all their upgrades, so I think we're just going to remove the tag. We don't really have to take 4 here, considering it doesn't really matter. We have more credits than them. We could just go ahead and install this. I don't know if credits are going to matter, but this card in hand is not particularly useful, and now we have a chance of hitting this with 0. Do you take less credits now to help you get the same amount of credits a turn later? It's weird, yeah. What is this? I don't know. Making an entrance lets us ensure that we draw a turning wheel, which doesn't matter. We still haven't found an employee strike. We did lose our Lamb, though. So same old thing, retrieval run seems good. I think we'll go run this. Even if it's a snare, we draw 2, and they can't fire it. Whatever. HQ run with 0 credits. They can still run res Mwanza, which costs 0, and then they gain like 14. It's an Amani Sanai. It's going to be Trace 3 if we don't win. I think we have enough money, though, just to trash this. Oh, we take a tag. Yeah, right. Whatever. And that's the thing, is like we can go ahead and recur Liberated with District 99. It's crazy. I love it doing inefficient card nombos. All right. Lost in a retrieval run, which would be good. I think we don't trash it. Another Sanai. Okay. So we can't pull Sure Gamble. We could pull Day Job to our hand to play it next turn. Yeah, that's probably fine. We play it for 10. If we wanted to install something right now, we'd get the most value. Like we could play Turtle for 1 credit. I'm pretty sure they have to be on IP block. It's too good not to play, and we don't really need this card anymore. Is it time to divide and conquer? We lose to divide and conquer, right? Like they fire all of this shit. Okay, so they can score 1 agenda, and I honestly don't think we care. We trashed the Black Orchestra, we got another recursion, so we can go ahead and gain 10 here. Like what, the most they can put themselves is on 3 points? What's the chance also we just like do same old thing retrieval run? Which costs us 9. Like, can we just stim hack this remote? Stim hacking this remote, this is free, this is 6, this is 6. So we pay 3 to get on the remote. Yeah, we definitely stim hack the remote. We could also install this for free and then stim hack the remote, and then our last 2 clicks are a take 4, which seems good. So we'll install this. Trashing the turtle, we don't want that. Stim hack, server 1. Stim hack is free. It is free. Ouch. What game is dead? Oh, the whole game was Android Netrunner. You're on 5 points though? Yeah, but if we hit a 1-pointer, we seem stupid. Right? If we hit a 1-pointer, they gain like 25 credits or some absurd amount. We don't like using the D word here, Metroball Grid. Die to snare. Hey. Excuse me. Things look good on our side. Oh, as in the game. And then what, they hard-hitting news you? Yeah, they do hard-hitting news you. Aye. I try to refresh. It looks good. I'm stim hacking the remote. Because you saw 20 cards or whatever. Yeah, but we only can steal 1 a turn. Like, we have to do employee strike, divide and conquer. Right? Like, Terrence, that's really good if we win. Okay. Now they disconnected. Now they're back. I guess if we doubled it, yeah, if we did double divide and conquer. This will pay 6 for. Maybe at some point the lamb is good. We don't want to install the paperclip. And this one we get that David value. Let's see what this is. Could be Rashida. It's an AR. Alright. Now we're on game point, so now we don't give a shit. We lost that card, which sucks. We don't even die to double neural. Let's take some money. We have the same old thing, Stim Hack. We can recur Stim Hack with this card. Stim Hack is a really good card. If they hard-hitting news you, they have another turn to steal. That's true. We can't steal Quantum Kitty, but it's hard for us to play double divide and conquer. I think now we run HQ. The thing is, if we hit news team, we have to take the tags. I don't even know if we're in a rush. Oh, we hit a strike. So they can fire double snare, which will be an issue. I really don't think we have to do anything here. Hand size is 3. Okay. If they're gonna just try and score in a remote, we can deal with the remote. And like this wasn't a very flashy game. We just had enough money. We have all the breakers that you're probably used to, but like this deck has free card draw. Excuse me. Ooh, we got a DJ. Busted makes me feel good. Yeah, right? We have the DJ. We lost the Cradle. DJ lets us be Steve, which lets us recur cards. It's the only card that lets us go turning wheel, turning wheel. Let's us go gamble, gamble. What are the odds that one of the 6 face-ups in Archives is an agenda that wins you the game? The 6 face-ups? Very low. I don't care if they score this. We could just run HQ. We could DDoS run HQ. We could also put Fenris down for like 1 credit. We died to double snare though, so we'd have to draw once if we did that. Jackpot doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, we'll run HQ. Oh, actually, we don't die to double snare because Fenris gets us a card draw. We're definitely gonna go with Steve here. Run HQ. And hopefully we win. We'll DDoS that, so we can run twice. Face-ups have a 0% chance. Yeah, I think they did the math. Did you find there enough programs for you to want to play District 99? Yeah, there's a ton of programs. And hardware. Like, we got 3 recursions off of this. So they're going to res that. I'm assuming it's a Mwanza. And actually, there's a chance. With 4 cards in hand, there's a chance we die to double snare. We might have fucked this up by installing. If we didn't draw a card, we can't die to double snare. Because the first snare hits these 3 for sure, and then there's 3 more. We died to triple snare, which they can't afford, so we maybe did goof it. Select 2 cards in our heap. What do we do here, chat? Stimhack, Stimhack? We get most value out of Liberated, and we need money for the long game. I think we probably do Liberated. Is there another Liberated in here? Yeah, there must be. I've had worse. Yeah, we could do that, actually. Double I've had worse means we don't die to double snare. They considered it. Oh, that's it. Good game. They didn't even res it. Mwanza on Centrals. I've had. It's the safer play. But I don't know if they res them. There's a chance that they just don't res the Mwanza because they're on game point. That's the easiest way to lose the game. Even if they had like single snare. I wanted that money. I could tell. I'm not. That's the problem with Mwanza. So game point. I don't think. Like, the problem with Mwanza, it's good because it's like super defensive upgrade, but if as long as you don't run it, this deck just doesn't have enough money to contest anything. I forgot Zero the solo. I've had worse in hand. Not value time. And we didn't even fire Zero that often. I think a big part is we didn't have Clan Vengeance. There's a chance actually the better call from Liberated was double Clan Vengeance. But I don't even think we saw single Clan Vengeance. All 3 are in the bottom 33. Because that's the time that we say, like, oh, if you don't want to win the game, I'll install Clan Vengeance and make sure that the game closes at some point. Yeah. Do you think Clot will be too dominant in the new CC SATCOM meta? I don't think it will, considering almost no ID right now is fast advancing. And they have a lot of good ice to put on remote servers. Six for total boost is okay, I guess. So I don't think so. I don't know who's going to be fast advancing. I think just jamming into a remote server with things like NGO Front and Rashida is probably good enough. Rock always wins. Nothing beats Rock. So, like, what's left in our deck? Yeah, all our fire bottles are there. And largely that's it. That's good. Was waiting for my Memorial Field. Ooh, I like it. So they're playing also the Memorial Field, which means to access it would have cost us, what, 8 credits? It's okay. That threat is enough to scare them. T is arguably the best deck post MWL. Anyways, that's blank against them. Yeah, I agree. Claude is good against Titan, which might be okay, but definitely a lot worse with the Claude threat. I don't think Fast Advance has been that good for a bit, besides specifically Titan and CI, which is not a problem anymore, if you want to call that a problem. If you're just tuning in, it's Andre. That's me. It's the Matchball Grid. If you're new around here, come say hi. We always see new faces in chat. Ask questions if you're new to the game. Shout out to the 2 dudes, to Joseph and Thomas, that we met at the G&K, who started playing the game. Ooh, Employee Strike against Mwanza is really good. I think we definitely keep this in. We have 2 good Mwanza tech cards, as much as we don't have economy. We keep this, right? Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't keep this. But yeah, ask questions if you're new to the game. Shaper decks beat those even easier because of misdirection. Yeah, they do. Haven't touched this deck in like 6 weeks. Let's see if I remember how to play. Well, best of luck. So, like, these cards are specifically very good because if they do single ice, we can get through it, and if they do non-iced, we can get through it with Employee Strike. Even double ice, we can get through with a combination. Problem is we have no economy in our hand. This is dead in the early game. This is not that great. It's useful at some point. Generally, they're running Kakugo, maybe Envelope. And then this is only good if they don't have money, which is a possibility, but we don't want to go down to 3. I think we actually have to mulligan this. That's not better. The Inject is the best card, I guess. Don't keep the Simo? Yeah, I don't think so. Ah, fuck. Okay, well, the thing is, like, with these many cards, we don't give a shit. Oh, that's actually pretty sweet, too. Like, we want to go get this Rashida. It could also be a Brain Trust. Basically, you shouldn't play a fast advanced deck that has no other way to score. Don't play Titan. Jemison also gets harder. We lost to David, which is good in this matchup. We could career fair this. We're going to inject. Wow, they're going to have a hard time with that. I think with these in hand and the day job, we can just like DDoS run this. And just run Central this turn. Melange. So we can spend one more credit and still be able to day job out of this. We can throw this out. Same old thing is pretty good. Inject is also pretty good considering that we don't have enough money. I think next turn we're definitely going to day job, which means we have to throw out another card. Oh, no, we don't because we play it. Let's go HQ. Let's hit that snare, huh? So they still can't use their ability because the outermost ice they can't res. They can install it for what it's worth, which might be bad if they have an agenda in hand. Hedge fund. Drat. So we know one in hand. I don't know if Turtle's going to be that good in this matchup because it's actually hard to run that often, but it is a breaker. Might live to regret that. The same old thing actually might be worse, considering there's not a lot of good tempo same old things necessarily in the game, and they're playing like a real, probably big ice deck, considering they have that. 2 DDoS in the opening 10. That's 3 DDoS. 3. You know, we should make a fast advance Stronger Together deck just to trick the runner. Stronger Together is probably not even terrible right now, but David's like the biggest issue. Turtle's super good because you need a Thimble Rig counter. Oh, that's true. Yeah, they're definitely playing Thimble Rig. Oh, they just played Scarcity. That's our Thimble Rig counter. We'll pay 2, right? Even with full hand size. Actually, we can make this -1. It's possible. That's okay. We don't care. Same old thing is good for Employee Strike. Let's say that's the best play. Rain, how's it going? Don't you have a window to pop DDoS after they install? Oh, yeah, we probably do. Yeah, you're right. We didn't have to preemptively do that. That's very true. We should have waited, because then running HQ is better. How's it going, firstly? Thanks for pointing that stuff out. That's really good. Iced. Both Centrals. They know we have that pressure here. If we want to install DDoS, it's 5. This is 2. We want to inject into some good economy. A strike would be better, too. Alright, so we can just like go crazy and frantic coding to get down in the answer. This puts just cards in our heap, which is good for retrieval run, which they can counter, but is that better than inject? Probably not. Okay, we got a turning wheel, which is important. YOLO. So basically we're gonna get Black Orchestra. That was the most expensive one, so I felt the best about it. This is technically better if they are running Thimble Rig, which a lot of them are. That's a very popular card. We could just like go ham and keep drawing. Right now, this is dead. This is unlikely that we're gonna play it. Whatever, I guess we gotta go fast. This we play for 8, which is a lot. All these cards are like stupid expensive right now, so we're gonna be throwing out a fair bit of them. That's unfortunate. Didn't draw a current, but again, talking about consistency in this deck is probably an issue. We could be running more currents as well. Like maybe we cut Employee Strike, we run Fem, and then we run Rumor Mill. That's probably not terrible. It's hard to assess how good Rumor Mill is in the new Most Wanted List meta, if that holds up. So we can credit or we can install something for way too much money. We're probably not going to do that. This is really good with Thimble Rig, but it's really bad for any big ice. And if they're running Melange, they're probably running big ice. Fenris is a credit or run if we play Smoke. It's Recursion, which is really good if we get into HQ for cheaply, which is unlikely. This is Employee Strike, which seems pretty good as much as it's 2 and 3 clerks. Man, I think it's actually this, which I feel really bad about, and probably this. We have 2 more of those. You can run Scrubbed. It's pretty bad with David, but honestly not a terrible current. It's like 2 to play, though. That's the worst part. Looking back to the old rotated IDs, why didn't the devs think that the NBN ID that gave you an extra hand size needed a handicap to influence? We'll probably never know. I think Fast Advance is really good. Maybe they wanted combo cards. What is this? This is going to be a long game. We lost Earthrise and Forked. Cutlery is really good in this matchup. I think we'll just like swallow it and install this. So wow, that turn was pretty terrible. We started at 8, we ended at 12. So it's like clicking for 4 credits, but we get a click for 4 after. Not fantastic. They know we're on 2 more DDoSes, not only because we told them, but because we injected them. So it's going to be hard to tell when we want to rush the remote. So far, we can't break barriers. Drew second click after installing ice. That's never correct. Lost our console. That's actually would be really good right now. It's our built-in counter to scarcity. I think we need a draw. It's very hard to install things. Ooh, that's actually really sweet. And I don't know if we want to mill another 10 cards off our deck. There's no real program we need now. I think we'll go ahead and install this for 2. We have enough money to contest. A retrieval run would be pretty sweet right now. We could do DDoS, retrieval run. If they install something there, we could then use our DDoS, and then we can run remote. No advances. Oh, okay, that's an Issei token, huh? Okay. So we gotta think this through. Clan Vengeance just got milled. Paperclips and Heat, 10 off. How's it going? Oh, so it is. Fantastic. We need to get through here. This could easily be a Marcus baddie. With 21 credits, I think we want to install this and then run. If we frantic coding, the best case is it gets a David that we pay 3 credits for, because then that deals with big ice. There's 2 David and 61 though, and I don't want to mill our deck too hard. That seems pretty bad. Sample thing for sure, Gamble. Click 3 times for 3 credits. It's actually 3 clicks for 2 credits. Yeah. That's 2 David, so you have to get. It's not likely to work. I think we can DDoS run it. You can even like blindly cutlery it. It's probably not great. We want 2 clicks to run this too, but we need to get that Nisei token. It's not like we have a lot of run events that are really strong. They could like value end the run a stim hack. But this could be baddie. It could also be code replicator. I don't care if we lose cards in our hand. This is our best card. So they can install a card here. We have no access to strike. Otherwise, we could consider simultaneous strike. So we have to access this maybe twice. It's just an enigma. We can deal with that. No worries. Sure. What is this? Is this an NGO front? Oh, right. Yeah, we'll break that. Do they mark us batting and end the run subroutine here? Because we can run again. That's a baddie. Okay, this doesn't matter that much. Because they still can't run this and we can run back. So it's in our best interest to pay no. Oh, well, that even worked out better. Wow, that was a good turn. I don't know what this is. We're going to go ahead and find out, I guess. They haven't been jamming in a remote. So they can't res. We can find out what this is. We'll always get the card from hand first. It's a fast track. That's kind of scary. And upgrade is a Brian Stinson. Now a restricted card. Don't have to worry about that anymore. They said this was an old deck, so that actually worked out really well for us. Should have included infiltration to click 3 times for 0 credits. That's pretty sweet. But that we have to make sure they play scarcity first for that play to be good. Okay, so now we need econ. We haven't drawn well this game. What do we get? We lost a ret run. We lost another console, which is the worst case. We could just start smashing with this. An unadvanced card could be a brain trust. If they're on fast track, they might be actually on fast advance. Even if we don't run, there's a chance that they hit us with a Nisei. With the shipment from Tenon. We've seen a fast track and a hedge fund that they played. So 5 cards in HQ we don't know. We could consider running this remote. We really need a David. That's interesting. Yeah, YOLO, I guess. What do they res here? What do they res here? Like, what, are they going to do damage to us? We just... Architect. Okay. That's wild. Okay. We just need to make sure we stay over 6. DNA checker. That's good to know. So if we play this, they have an interesting choice here. We made a successful run, and we just probably click for a credit. The data sucker actually will have some value. So they lost 5. So they lost 9 that turn, which is not too bad at all. We can't fork that. Not a lot of fork value. Frantic coding probably still has some value in our hand. Turning Wheels also seems good in this matchup, considering they are running ice like this. We can always run into this if they have it on Central last click. DNA Tracker is a bit harder, and this is actually really good against DNA Tracker. There's a chance that we're going to have to zero this matchup. If they're on a Nancy, this is also really good. How many zeros are in the bin? This is our second zero. We have a same old thing. We can always same old thing forked if we need it. And if we imagine every employee strike is a fem, we can figure out, like, fem would be really good in this matchup too. So what is this? Is it Rashida? I want to draw 3? Draw 4? 1 second. They're thinking about it. Shit. It's a melange. They have a DNA tracker in hand. This card is a son of a bitch. How is this card not unique? I guess it makes sense thematically. So that's the second one. The question is, can we get in there? Probably not. We know they have a DNA tracker in hand, which doesn't end the run. But we gotta get somewhere fast. As soon as we run any central server, they throw the DNA tracker down. And they're probably running a lot of big ice if they're both on melange and paying 3 influence for this and 2 influence for that. I think we probably just YOLO with 0. This is 4 for 6 cards. This is better. Let's go. We trash Earthrise, so that comes out on top. If we install this, we have to click for a credit to be at 6 to not get wrecked. They might just camp on this. This is going to be a hard matchup because we're like... There's not that many cards like this in the game anymore that if you don't interact with them, you go further and further behind. Like, it's just this and, like, Commercial Bankers Group. We're going to need money in this matchup. We'll install that. This is okay. Breaks DNA Tracker for 7. Breaks Enigma for 4. Maybe we have to run that. I don't know. They're going to have to trash that at some point to put a thing in there. And even if they have infinite credits, it's not that, like, much worse for us. So we know they have a DNA tracker in hand, and that's all we know. And it looks like they're on defensive upgrades and score Nisa in a remote. Probably on food or Obakata. Good. That's why you don't trash it. Triple. Huh? So, what's that one that lets you re-encounter an ice? Code Replicator. Baddie. Those are all things we worry about. Well, we were on 5 credits that turn? Why were we on 5 credits? Why did they not... Why are we on 5 credits? Did I just do math wrong? Okay. I'll take it. Okay, District 99s. Still have 2 in the deck. Patchwork still have 1 in the deck. Yeah, what happened there? If it's like that, they could in theory fast advance here if they have it. Just getting like raw money seems good. Does melange need to be unique? You can't use 2 at the same time. No, you can't. Yeah, you're right. It just makes rumor mill better. This card actually has a lot of value because it does save money. I think just getting money down is probably good enough. We know they're on scarcity, so like pre-installing stuff has some value. We'll start next turn with a fair bit of credits. And it looks like next turn they'll probably advance. Maybe they ship in from 10 and double advance, and then we have to deal with a Nisei token remote. Oh, it's Rashida. Right. So we haven't seen any NGO fronts. That's our first Rashida. 2 melange out. So never advance might be their strat. Like, it's weird that they're playing this and so many strong never advance cards. Because as soon as they advance, we know we have to run. Besides NGO front, which I think NGO front is probably strictly better than melange. Because this is 4 clicks for 7. Melange is 2 for like 5, but it threatens a run a lot of the time. There's the scarcity we talked about. And what do we get in the bin? Damn it, a jackpot. So what do we inject into? We lost a David and Amakua. Beans! If we just drew, we hit a David. So this is too expensive. This is not terrible. I think we play Data Sucker in this because it looks like they're prepping for a score. And yeah, we'll do that. Because they're prepping for a score, right? Like, they just Rashida'd. They probably have agendas in here. So this sees HQ, 1 card in archives, value, 1 top of R&D. We also get a data sucker token, which is good. Sandstorm. David's really good against that. We have no option. So that's from HQ, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And I don't know where they threw it. They threw it at the fast track. And an Obokata. That's good. We're on game point. Let's go. We keep the worst card. Value. We're on game point now. Sandstorm is really scary. That's another good reason to have Amakua, but David will do it. If we install this, we go down to 11 minus 4, 7. I think we need the card draw with no cards in hand. We died a Neural EMP, but like, who's playing Neural EMP? Yeah, that Amakua would have been sweet right there for sure. I'm also surprised, like, we didn't play around it. They could have installed a card and maybe they didn't want to install a card. Like, they could have installed the Sandstorm, so maybe they had multiple agendas in there and they wanted to keep cards in hand. Maybe they thought that was more valuable, but then no, the Sandstorm just fires. So we lost our final DDoS. No retrieval runs in sight besides same old thing retrieval run, but a David would be pretty good. And it looks like even same old thing into retrieval run might be, or into Divide and Conquer might be good. All right, got a Strike. Strike is good. Strike is a good card. Another card in there, mind you, we've seen 2 Rashidas in a row, but they do chain pretty well. That could be Rashida 3 Shida. This seems good. We just need to get 1 good run after we get this powered up. Turtle count, we're at 3 in the bin. Retrieval run count. I actually have to scan it. It's hard. How many retrieval runs have we lost? What does retrieval look? 1? Just 1? All these cards are good enough that we don't want to 0. We only 0 if we have Clan Vengeance. I think we could just probably take 6. We're going to be drawing 3 next turn, so like overdrawing here doesn't seem that smart. We'll just take money. Because we might have to run this remote next turn. Yeah, Amakua would have been sweet. We could have 3 tokens on it and a data sucker, which gets through a lot of stuff. Maybe eventually we find a nice carver, but I'm pretty sure we've already lost 2 carvers. 1... I thought we lost 1 early. No, maybe we have an ice... Oh yeah, no. Yeah, we still have an ice carver. No, there's 2. Alright, if that's no... Oh, we lost our turning wheel. That sucks. And our strike. Beans! That sucks. It's really bad. Those are really good hits. Okay, so now we can just probably play this game. We can career fair it down, which is good. Take some injuries. Fantastic. And we have a retrieval run. This is great. This is really good. If we run archives, they could install a card. We could consider taking damage. There are only 2 counters because he stole the Obo. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, you're right. Because we did steal Obokai, only 2 counters. This card is now dead because there's no 1-point agenda in this deck, I don't think. Oh, we want to take damage. That's like the thing we want to do because we want to charge this up. We could consider retrieval running. They might install a card there, and then we can get out of David. We might want to do that before the Ice Archives. They don't know we drew this, though, but then we can't Clan Vengeance until we get this down. So I think we're going to do it. Problem is also MU is going to be like an issue. MU is definitely going to be an issue. Running last click is also pretty bad because they know they can use their ability with impunity. Their ability being Mati Mukundo. So I think we'll probably just... Oh, that was the wrong card. I think we might just play this and take money. Because we're definitely going to have to break some big old ice. And once it gets you 2 counters on CV, it does. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, we can break everything. We can retrieval run. 0. Run this. We know we need the retrieval run David so that we can break Sandstorm. And even if they spend like a lot of money resing this, we need to be able to access with enough cards in hand. If we take damage on the way, we can draw with I've had worse. We'll take our chances here. We'll retrieval run first for David. We get a data sucker counter too, which helps us break DNA tracker. So now they can install a card. That's fine. We'll continue. The worst case scenario is if we need to install our paperclip. No fire. Want me to undo click? Sure. Close prompt. Check out. We'll do undo click and we'll re-go. So it looks like they do want to use their Mati ability, which is fine. I think we can break most things. Again, barriers suck. Hopefully we hit a barrier and we hit this, and we don't hit an Anansi, or sorry, a Kamainu. Actually, Kamainu is fine because we empty their hand. That being said, it's unfortunate they've used 2 Rashida. Continue. That's a tracker. That's a big one. So it's 6 strength. I think we're going to pay 5. Hit me with 1. And we want to take 1. Okay. They have 8 credits, so charging this remote's a lot easier. So we want to be able to run this twice if it's a baddie. It could also be double baddie, but it's like unlikely considering one's in the bin. We might not have enough money for this, we'll see. We also could consider, if this doesn't work out, if it looks really bad, we can 0 it. So it looks like it's baddie. We're just doing baddie on the first dice? That doesn't make any sense. Like, we should just pass all this stuff. Oh, they spent 0 again, wow. Or maybe they're just gonna let us lose a click. Why do they do that? Double baddie? Like, we might as well pay 3. I guess then it's a risk, and then they could consider resing ice. Maybe that's not strictly wrong. Because if they lose that, they can just still tax aside and res another baddie or some shit. It's double baddie. Okay. If they score this, they go down to, like, 6 credits. It's not even that bad. We just want them to spend money. I think this time they'll spend 1. Yeah, cool. Do we just win here? If they do damage, 1 point of damage, we can't steal a Bacata unless they hit this. So it's a 25% chance. So now they can consider resing ice. And unless the ice does a lot of damage, we can light a fire. If it does little damage, we're okay. They think it might be game though. Because if it does a lot of damage, the chance of hitting the iPad worse is really high. It depends how much damage and how much we'll draw, but the chance of this chaining into another I've had worse is calculable. It's 0, considering they're both in the bin. And they've used their ability on archives, so it looks like we're going to access this one. That's a good game, exactly with 4 cards in hand. We pulled it off. Quick math. Yeah, it's super calculable. All right, so it's Cortex lock into DNA trackers. So if they res this, they really don't have a lot of money. We can break that for free. This we also break for free. So like we say we planned that, and that was fine. So it all came down to the baddie game. Oh, why didn't you baddie after we broke? Because if we had to break this twice, it'd be 6 more credits, and we couldn't have got in. Oh, yeah, I would be short 1 credit. I've been in the sun all day. Hey, no worries. So yeah, they should have done it later, right? We pay 3, then they baddie. There's also a slight chance. Is it ever right that you baddie? No, you never do baddie, lose a click, end the run. It's the same thing. Never mind, that's silly. World's deck? Considering it, right? Thanks for, hey, you too. We got another one in us. I've been learning as I go. It's super calculable. Alright, so far... Oh, that's not right. That's right. So far you see what this deck does. Like, it's not that flashy. It does what most Anarch decks do. It just doesn't draw it reliably, and then has a bunch of free card draw, which is always very good. This might be fine for us. Any matchup in which money matters on turn 1, that's your worst matchup. So things like CTM, Gagarin, a really aggressive Asmari with hard-hitting news can be an issue. In this matchup, what do we want? Not a lot. We got a lot of cards. A lot of people get upset when they see this in this matchup, so we can run with impunity. We generally want MK Ultra. We want some amount of economy. They mulligan. We can go ahead and mulligan. As the bonsai blooms, watch your step for the petals conceal sharp intent. So let's take our own damage, right? So luck. Have fun. Holy shit. Turn 1 SSL buried. So this is a grind deck if we've ever seen one. And they went ahead and hedge fund. So they just buried an SSL. Does that mean they're not on Obokata? I don't know. And we lost a card. Definitely want to trash that. I have no doubt they're running a lot of recursion if they're running this sort of stuff. Dredge Work is a fucking piss off of a card. This is the sort of card that I assume at some point they would restrict, but it looks like they want to make sure that every identity has some sort of way to deal with agenda flood. Cradle. Please tell me you're running with no hand. They might be punitive. Having an I've had worse in hand for punitive is pretty good. This hand is not particularly that great, so that I don't mind running R&D. They have trashables. Having at least, I guess, 5 credits is pretty good. That lets us trash some Wanza if we find it. Or Ben Musashi if we find it. We want to get agendas. Hedge fund. Okay. So with this, it looks like they're definitely on Obokata. It looks like they're definitely on punitive. So money does matter. That changes a bit of the way that we play. So accessing with few credits, we don't have to steal Obokata. That's the best part. Like it's an additional cost, and we have now all our breakers. So I think we can run pretty well. We can actually play this first. So we have Clan Vengeance. I have more than one ice in this deck, I swear. We'll find it. I believe. So Black Orchestra, throwing out cards is not that great. Ice Carver probably doesn't matter. I think we want the Amakua more than the Jackpot. We don't want to trash any of these cards because maybe cards matter. I don't think it's a grind deck. It looks like it's probably more punitive. So, but we have most of everything we need. So we're not going to trash everything. So we can choose the order, and remember, if we don't draw, it goes... If we don't draw, which is hard, because we could run RD, hit snare, it goes trash, trash, drop. We definitely want this because we have the combo, and we want to mill their hand. And if we fire this next turn, we'll draw 2 of these cards that fucks it up. So I think we'll put Amaku on the bottom. Knife is actually really good. So remember where we put that, because it's really good against Kakugo. And we'll do Clan Vengeance, Carver Orchestra. Now if we hit snare here, it doesn't matter. Sad fun killing Chainsaw of Death. SSL, alright. So we probably shouldn't have stole that, but we didn't really have a choice. So now money matters a lot. So they have to hit us with double punitive. They're going to start their turn with 22 credits. There's a chance we're just dead here. Now the thing about drawing a card here, it doesn't matter because double punitive does 6, and we're not drawing an I've had worse. So I think we just want to get as many credits as we can. And they have to punitive us twice. It looks like we're safe, which is good. When you die in social interactions, you die in real life. Social death is worse. Oh man. They could do value punitive, but it seems really bad. I think as soon as they see Clan Vengeance 0, they might consider doing value punitive because it's going to be very hard for them to hold the whole combo in hand. And we're not running Mad Dash or any agenda additioning things. Maybe also they're on like Proper Glacier. I really doubt it. We know the next card is a card we wanted. It was an Amakua, which has value considering they're not running a lot of ice. It's unlikely they're running Swordsman, so I think drawing is probably fine here. And now we're in the unknown again. And they have a lot of money. But this is going to empty their hand at some point. They know they need to go fast, and we have access to every single breaker. Unadvanced card, don't know if we care actually. This goes through 3 cards in our deck, which seems bad. Amaku is probably worth protecting. And this is probably worth protecting too, considering we need money when we access. Let's go ahead and hit the Street Peddler out of our hand. Damn, we're good. Mimic is actually really good. Maybe they're running a Nancy. That's not unlikely. And if that's the case, this is also really good with this. We want to fill up our MU for Cortex Lock, and it lets us deal with bigger things faster. Let's see how fast they can score to 7. I want to just do last click. It was fine there. It's much worse as a corp. As a runner, it's not great, but like we got to figure out what our turn is based on what we draw. Call the fire department. Card in server 2, Ben Musashi is a thing. They also could be running Hokusai Grid, which makes the punitive much better as well. But we're just going to be sitting this button for a while. I think actually we'll play the Mimic, because Mimic Sucker is better than Orchestra. Okay. It's important that we hit this one with the damage. Oh my god, we are so good at this game. Going down to 0 is bad, but we can get 10 next turn, so maybe they'll feel comfortable. So it's fine when you do it. Jackpot, how's it been doing, Sarknar? Not amazing. The problem is you just need red or neutral econ cards. You could consider pad tap in this deck, but I think they always purred it. They just realized we have 78 cards. It always takes a while on JNet for someone to realize, wait a second, what the hell? In person, it's obvious because you just drop this like stack. 7 credits last game. I've got 6 credits before. In this game, it's going to matter because it's going to be a while if they're running only 3-pointers. It's not the best card, but it's okay. Don't love it. I wish we had more neutral economy that wasn't terrible. We're running Armitage, so like the floor of what's playable in this deck is relatively low. I don't even think Strike is that good, considering they're not running many agendas, so I think we're actually going to go ahead and play this to throw this out, so we just gain 10 for a click. We're not hitting the 0, which is unfortunate, but what can we do? Jackpot hasn't been working out because you don't put the exclamation at the end. Oh, excuse me. Or the quotes around the other one. If they score this, they do a damage to us. We don't have a David, so it's actually really sketchy to run this remote. If we had a Mad Dash, it might be less sketchy. But if we don't steal, we die. Like Ben Musashi. I don't know. I think we have to actually attack Centrals. I do like cutlery. Let's build turtle counters and then start attacking Centrals. There might be a damage card in here, like a Breach Dome, but that's actually pretty good for us. Oh, there is. It hit our Inject, and we lost an Earthrise, which is fine, but it gives us more counters to Clan Vengeance, so now we have a way to farm counters, which is actually pretty bad for them. We want to install this. We haven't used our thing so far. Kakugo is a bigger issue than Code Gates, I think. So we're going to go ahead and install this. The most that this can do is 2 damage. Actually, it can do 3 damage if it is a Show of Force. So maybe we don't need to throw this out. Oh, we couldn't. We can just draw. It's probably fine. Oh, that's even great. Because they'll probably hit it when they score this agenda. But Show of Force would do 3 damage and kill us if we didn't draw there, if we just took 4. I don't think it's a Show of Force. It looks like they're on 5-3s. And SSL, it's worse for us. And we can start face checking to stuff. They have a lot of money. But I don't mind taking damage here. And we don't have to respect Punitive anymore because we can flush their hand. Let's go HQ. Hit a snare. Turning Wheel actually probably is worth playing for free here. Let's not run. I won't play Peddler. We'll run HQ. That's the Kakugo. So I'm not gonna. No. We'll just check out, get a Turning Wheel. We can snare it last click, but we can knife it last click. But if we take a tag with a snare, they can trash our stuff. So we're in no rush. We just got a free Turning Wheel counter, so that's pretty fine. They could be on the current that gives them another agenda point, but unless they're also on like House of Knives, which is not unlikely, it's gonna be a while. And advanceable traps is also something we have to worry about. Like that easily could be a Rashida or even a House of Knives, and House of Knives is a pain in the ass. Guy's a last click drawer. This is a totally different matchup. Let's go HQ. I don't know what barrier they could draw that we'd be more upset about. Like Envelope would be bad here. Oh, it's an Anansi. Oh, we lost our Forked. Install MK Ultra. Yeah. We're 1 counter away from that. How bad is this for us? Pretty bad. Eventually we'll be breaking this for 3, but we had to pay 9 for that. We can consider taking damage, but we really don't need to. We break this with Amakua. Trashes itself, so I don't think we take the damage. Because this is a break all subroutine, so we shouldn't take the damage here. Because we don't pass it. Successful run, that's a DNA tracker. Not a lot learned, but now we can get through this relatively cheaply. There's some value in running the remote, but we don't have enough credits. Knife Head Worse is the most valuable card in our hand to use to check this remote. But we don't have it. I don't know what this is. It could be a Hokusai really easily. Inject is good to refill our hand. I think taking some money is good because we'll probably have to run something. And getting rid of this at some point in the future would be good. I think we threw out one forked. Yeah. And no same old things. But trashing their ice is pretty good. I think we're going to actually last click draw, which is embarrassing. David's really good too. Patrick would never do that to us. Let's see if they score that house of knives. Damn it. They do. We have no action to interrupt this. This is acceptable. So now if this is a... What could it be? Okay. They're going slow. That's fine. So I think we have a play here. Like, we can install David and then inject. I think we inject first. Okay. So install David, throwing out one of these cards. We can run the moat server. We can take 6 first if we have to clear a tag, if it's a prize deck or something like that. And then we can trash their hand so we don't have to worry about the credit differential. And if this is a brain damage card, it's kind of bad. But they're going to spend money raising this. Oh. Luckily we can break that. So we actually can't steal if there's a Ben Musashi in there. If it's an Obokata, if it's the last SSL, we can. There's only one subroutine would break, so we have to shuffle 2 cards. If we had an I've had worse in hand, we'd be fine. So what do we want to protect? This is worth protecting. This is worth protecting. Yeah, we're probably like 2 cards short of stealing it. Because it's Ben Musashi, yeah, it's Ben Musashi into Obokata and to Hokusai as well. So we definitely want to trash one of those. That trashes cards from their hands, which is pretty good for us. So they don't have to res the Ben Musashi, but we want to trash everything here we can. I think it's going to spend 7. Oh, it's only an NGO front. Fantastic. So the question is, when do we pop their hand? Oh, I don't know the order of the cards we put on top of their deck. Actually, I guess it's unfair, but we wanted to draw the same old thing. I didn't consider the order. The same old thing's going to get trashed. It doesn't matter, actually. The 2 cards are going to get trashed anyways unless we draw this click. So we're going to draw the same old thing. Fuck. We put them in the wrong order. We want the same old thing so we can fork this. I put on the top in the wrong order. You know Andre talks about costs and steals more than a car salesman. Mind if I fix it? What's up? Oh, I drew last click. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So we have this so we can knife this. We could consider popping their hand right here, but it's unlikely they install double jam into this remote server. Nothing really punishes us here. Like C-Source into... I don't know. We'd all agree we'd stop. It's fine. Then we can just start slamming HQ, building up turning wheel. Single advance. I don't know if that's something we have to be worried about. It seems like an NGO front, if anything. That's funny. So we actually can use Patchwork when we play the event off of this, which is really great. This card actually is going to be hard for us to deal with, unfortunately. How do we win? How do we win? Running archive sucks. I don't think this is an agenda. Maybe they are running Show of Force. I think we just need money. Throwing out our card in the hand for 1 credit when we install this doesn't seem good. If it's Show of Force, we can lose one of these things. I don't want that to happen. Install second data set, run archive, similar thing, fork HQ. The problem is that we know that there's at least 1 copy of Breach Dome in there. They just click to draw. They click to draw again, we'll fire this. Actually, maybe we won't. 22 cards in R&D. Iced Archives. That card has some value. So we can get through this for 9. Plus the forked. Otherwise, we would want 3 sucker counters on here. When you ever expose a card or access the cards and do not steal or trash it, so it doesn't care about forked. The problem with like same old thing forked here is, yeah. So this is 9. Okay. We're really depending on this jackpot to fire at some point. I'm assuming they're going to score this. If it's an NGO, we will definitely pop Clan Vengeance. So we're popping Clan Vengeance immediately. Because it looks like they had something further put in that remote. Single advance. Alright. So now running Archive seems pretty good. We have a Lamb. Ooh, we have a Divide and Conquer. We do have a Lamb. Now, what's the chance that this is expensive to break? It's actually pretty high. That changes something, doesn't it? Do we want to save 2 credits to throw a card out here? I don't think so. Maybe we just win. Unlikely. Oh, Future Perfect and a single Breach Dome. So we'll do the Breach Dome first. Future Perfect here would be pretty rad. Can't keep saving the CD forever. It's not elixir on the Final Fantasy game. That's a problem I have with consumables in a lot of games. Is I just save them forever. So we threw out a Snare. Single Breach Dome. Should be good to get this down. Spend 2. No action. Okay. So we are at 5 strength. We can run this again. We probably should. 41 cards left in our deck. We're not scared. Maui's saying 0. There's no way they spend 0 when they have this many credits. Just kidding. Trash jackpot. Yeah, we need it. I'm not worried about punitive. They'd have to double punitive. Oh, fuck. There's a chance we die to Show of Force. No, apparently not. They have to succeed. If they top deck the single punitive. No! 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 They top deck the single punitive. Oh no! I guess we didn't see any. God damn it. We should have drawn last click, right? Yeah, for sure. Just realized that we hadn't seen any in archives, so that's not incredibly unlikely. You could have even draw punitive, and we'd still die. Probably shouldn't have stolen that. Damn, it's not like we chose to steal it. Like, we bet 0. That's why you always draw last click. Ah, oh, damn it. We had that. Like, things are going pretty okay for us. Yeah, they could have drawn and hit us, though. The punitive seemed pretty likely. Like, we need to end with 3 credits. If they drew and then double punitive, oh, you can't draw double punitive. At least the time I didn't keep your stream for an hour with my sports out deck, right? Never draw last click. So, like, we were holding on. We had the economy. We had everything going for us. Hey, thanks for the game. Alright, it's 11:43. We can put one more game in. The thing is, like, it has to be a fast game, so we're going to do a fast game. Oh, excuse me. I wanted to try something that was old. Actually, I want to try that Blue Sun Lady Liberty deck. That's not particularly good. But I actually want to try SSL. SSL, or SSO, excuse me. SSO is probably a lot worse now that people are likely on the clone chip David if the new most wanted list is the way it is. But, like, if you want to cheese people out, Red Planet Couriers is probably still good. It's hard to clot it. Actually, it's not that hard to clot. Maybe it's terrible. That's a paladin. That's a paladin. Make it SSO. Hey. Yeah, maybe we'll do SSO. It's been a while since I played SSO. I think the SSO deck we have with Double Biotic was pretty good. I know people are doing well with SSO, but in my meta it seems bad. SSO did get better with the way that they changed Maxwell James, but like, I think David's going to be really common if everybody's going to be running Fairchild 3. So, I don't know. Did we pass the deck? Nicely done, Tobel. We'll find it. Invalid. How is that possible? Man, that's the problem. Is like we'd add all these bad names for decks, and then you have to go through and read all of them in order. Why is it invalid? Why are a bunch of these invalid? Did they already do the most wanted list update here? Huh? Why are these invalid? What are we missing out? Yeah, this is the one. Why are they invalid? Do you relive Dance Breaker every time? Ah, fuck. People that are playing, what's it called? Sports Metal. Try playing Night Dancer. It seems actually really good in Sports Metal. It's like the perfect deck for it. Like, 6 to res is pretty bad, sure, but then you like spend 2 or whatever. I can't believe we called this one new deck and it actually was an issue. I remembered where we were. I think the updated legality for SOCR 7, but like, is that a thing that we have up? Like, this is not labeled as a SOCR 7 deck. I don't know. If you resave it, refigures it. Ah, it's a bug. Okay, super cool. Good to know. It's actually worth looking at what this deck is because I don't remember. So we have 2 Hostiles, Works and Renovation. New cards came out since this. Like, we have that, what's that barrier called? That, Fortress. We also only paid 14 influence, which can't be right. Maybe we play targeted marketing or something. But what's that Fortress card? Because it's better than Ice Wall. Masfingo, thank you. That seems better. 3 to res, yeah, we'll do it. I wonder if it actually knows to update the deck if we change it before the game starts. I wonder if we just broke JNet. No, it seems fine. We'll just be sure to do this. Oh boy, we're back at it again. This is really good radio. 18 people online or 18 games online. So there's like probably 37, 38 people. Oh, it's back at the top because we added it. Cool, that's an easy way to find it. Masfingo is just fun to say. It is. We want to play a fast deck and now we just spend like 7 minutes waiting in the lobby. If you also resave it, pushes it to the top, just saying, yeah, apathy. I think I figured that one out right there. This is the chat toy, right? Remember, no drawing last click. In this matchup, we generally don't draw last click. Drawing last click is bad. I'm falling apart here. All right, we'll just vamp for a bit while. People still have regionals? Is that still a thing around? You always draw last click. Yeah, is everything over? Like North American Nationals is the thing. Oh, knack. Maybe this is, you can't see someone's win rate right there. Ooh, that's actually a scary ID. We have the combo here. We lose a fast track. This is keepable, right? I remember how you play this. We have reached an agreement of industrialize several previously protected parks in the region. There may be some resistance to this in local population. Pay them no attention. We are not a petri dish to be tested and scrutinized. Cultivating an attack is our only defense against corporate plague. Plague. Fuck. Hey, thanks, you too. And they kept. Good to know. Regional's still around. I might do one tomorrow. It's a 4-hour drive there, though. Oh, damn. That's a bit of a drive. I think we'll just take the money, because if we res this, we're in an awkward spot. It makes it easier for them to trash this. They can get through this with not David. They can get through it with just Black Orchestra. If they face check it, it's super good for us. Oh, he was mentally on Friday time. Yeah, it's almost Friday. It'll be Friday in 10 minutes around my place. Regionals in Brisbane, Australia next weekend. Excellent. Regionals is next weekend. How's it going, Chaz? In Austin. In Singapore and Malaysia, I haven't had regionals yet. Oh, wild. Has to be a Jimmy Buffett tune. Stuck on Friday time. All right, they're drawing up. Looks like they got that down for 4 credits, so we can start advancing that if we want to. I forgot we were on Hunter Seeker. That's wild. I think we want to ice up R&D. We can double advance this, or we can advance it once, I guess, and just take this money. And now we have 2 big Hortums, which, for them to consider breaking, it's generally around 6 credits. Hopefully we draw an ice, then we can do ice, advance, advance, and then we can do next turn, advance, advance, score. Fast track install, that's probably one too many clicks. They might just jam David and run. Oh, fuck me. Alright, okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Punitive dies if we drop punitive. Maybe we needed to double ice that. Okay, well this does some damage. If they have I've had worse, will look really bad. They don't. They're on patchwork. If we drop punitive, we win. If we drop punitive, we win. If we drop punitive, we win. Damn. Well, we're not out of it yet. Okay. They lost a Reclaim. Reclaim means probably they're on Inject, because injecting your breakers if you're running Yusuf is pretty scary. Now R&D is pretty shit, but they need breakers for both of this. This is really weak to David, and they just played an I've had worse. So I think we want to fast track into, never mind. I think I probably draw once here. If we hit a breaker, it's really bad. We want to triple advance that. Advancing any of these higher is pretty bad. It doesn't do anything, but we need to get this out of the server as fast as possible. McDavid's so good against this deck. A second SACCON, or SMC, they probably won't have enough money according to them. And like we can jam fast track into the next 5-3, and then after that we could do like, I don't know. Over advancing the face down Horton might act as a bluff. Yeah, I think that's the best case. Like they might think that this is an ice wall. They might think they need a David and hit it, but it doesn't really matter. There's not a lot of bluffing going on. Unless they're like, I'm not running because I think this is an ice I can't deal with. Hippo to grip. Okay, well we played around that. Hippo is terrifying. They hit the VBG, but none of these cards are very good. They might actually double inject if they think they can contest this. Like they can Mad Dash this remote. Mad Dash being less common is actually really good for decks that rely on 3-pointers. That being said, people can still freedom, and it looks like they're just going to set up the destruction. We could consider Hunter Seekering this. Again, it doesn't really do much. It's a pretty bad card against Anarchs, unless you're trashing things like Clan Vengeance. They might not expect that. But not something we have to worry about. RPC seems really good. We know that most of the cards in their hand are actually pretty trash. Scoring this is pretty good. It's not like they're going to be on... Wait. Oh, why not both? Do we just ice this up? Install. Okay. Whatever. That's technically value, right? Make sure to score with Hollywood 100%, yeah. Advance Hollywood to score hostile. There are some plays here that we top deck an agenda. If we top deck a biotic, there's a chance we can do like fast track, install agenda, biotic. I'd have to do the math. But it looks like they're giving us a window here. Okay. So, thinking, if we fast track, we have 2 clicks, we install, we advance, we get 1 counter. That obviously doesn't work. So I think we're just going to draw up. We might actually want to leave that in the remote server. If we draw a biotic, we're in a good spot. I don't know. Are we scared about this thing? I don't think we are. Because if we leave it, we get 3 advancement counters on that, which seems like really good. But we get punished really hard. Actually, that's not right. Oops. This is what a play looks like. The worst case scenario here by far is losing the fast track, but we have 2 of them. Sunglasses, yeah. If we draw Biotic, somehow if we draw Biotic and another 5-3, we can win because we can do Biotic, install, advances 3 times and put 5 counters on something. So we might want to draw a bunch. I just don't know if we can leave this on the table, considering just drawing a Biotic and an agenda wins us 2. Double Biotic wins it as well, considering we have RPC. Red Planet Couriers. This card's actually probably really good. It's super cheesy. It's very non-interactive, just like ice your shit up. Getting a single access here. They can trash a Hunter Seeker. They can trash a fast track. It looks like they're probably going to trash that fast track. And with around 8 credits, it looks like they're expecting or respecting hard-hitting news. And they just want to get some accesses here. That's another fast track. Does Biotic win? No, because we're short a click. Because if we do Biotic... Oh, they installed Employee Strike? Why? We have this on the table. Drawing once here might be bad. Oh, no, never mind. We'll lose this, which is bad. They'll have 3 counters. They can trash this. We could have also just did fast track and instead of drawing and jam an agenda in here. Like jam, we show them what the agenda is though. So we could jam it in here. They don't know we're on Red Planet Couriers, so like we could have won next turn in theory. I don't want to draw last click here. Yeah, so we'd have, if we do fast track, install, Biotic, advance, we could put 3 counters on it. But we need another Biotic to be able to, you need a single Biotic if you have a 4 advanced. Or 5 advanced too, also. Because you have to do 2, 4, 6. Alright, so hopefully we keep it punitive, I guess. They played 1 half at worst, so they hit the second fast track, so that actually does close some windows. It looks like they're going to trash that. So if we run R&D, we might not res. I guess we don't have enough money to double punitive, so who cares? They know we're on Red Planet, so they definitely need to deal with that. Maybe the fast track into remote play was much better, considering they're showing no breakers. And the server's like pretty tight. And then we could have punished with this. Yeah, I think it's wrong. We shouldn't have drawn. We shouldn't fast track jam agenda and win this turn. It's very hard for them to trash this. Cost 5. This is weak to Hippo. Seaworks Project is the most defensible by punitive. And having 5 cards in hand protects this. They could put down Data Sucker and trash RPC. They know we're on RPC though, so it's basically getting to this remote server or die. And I didn't realize, yeah, they just drew 2 more with Earthrise. The thing is, like, if they're on Yusuf, it's actually a lot of counters to get through this thing. So we might be okay. David's the weakness here. Yeah, the Earthrise draw is really bad for us. I forgot that was going to fire. And even if they want to hippo this, we res it for free, and they spend like 9 credits. So, like, I don't give a shit. Like, right now, this server costs them already 12, unless they DDoS it. Which is actually going to be pretty good for them. I thought for a second that Hunter Seeker was the second RPC. It'd be good. I don't know if we need to play this card. I guess there was no better restricted card for this deck. Maybe that changes. And if they didn't know we had this in hand, like they access it last turn. So they just injected and they hit Patchwork, Employee Strike, Hippo, Gamble. None of those are useful. That's really good for us. If they hit a Paperclip, we might have been in a bad spot. But I'm pretty sure they're on Yusuf. Some decks run like 2 Yusuf, 1 Paperclip. MK Ultra's coming down. That's good. It's useless. Now, even if they trash this, we'll have enough counters to RPC this, so I don't mind. We'll res this. If they have Mad Dash, they also could give up on the server and just like Mad Dash our R&D and have a chance of winning. They don't know what this is though, and this looks like a barrier. And they don't have access to Paperclip. I think we 100% win this. How much influence have we seen? Some of the decks run Lamb, Yusuf. We haven't seen a lot of influence. I think we've only seen 4 so far. But even Lamb like doesn't break this. Lamb break this for like what? 4 for install, another 8. Fire away. So we're just gonna go ahead and end the run. Oh, it's search R&D for a card, end the run, and shuffle R&D, end the run. Oh, that's good. I don't want to actually take anything out of the deck. Up to 2 cards, so we're just gonna leave everything in there. They have 1 click left, 4 counters, so I'm not scared about this. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. They have 1 access. That's kind of bad. I don't know what they would possibly do here, like demolition run HQ. I'm not gonna res this. We have enough counters, but taking cards out of there is fine. We don't lose here. It's impossible to lose. Yeah, it's a good game, and they know it. A good game. SSL is kind of cheesy, or SSO, excuse me, right? Like, deal with this on turn 4. Like, what turn is this? And we could have won a turn ago. Like, we did goof it. We shouldn't have drawn last turn. We should have just jammed the remote. I really don't like this card. Red Plant Couriers, that is. It's like one of those non-interactive games decks where you just like put ice on everything. SSO fast. Turn 9. We could have done it on turn 8 if we played a bit more aggressively, which, you know, hindsight's 2020. And like, what's coming up? Nothing. Like, there's legitimately 3 more agendas in the deck, and we lost most of our fast tracks, if not all of them. So it's actually gonna be a grind of a game if we didn't use the last one. Oh, hey, cheers. That's very kind. Yeah, we could have done the pass. It's on the big cheese. You need to play a Tenant deck with Jumon and False Flag. But how do you punish the tags, right? Like, what do you do? I don't know. False Flag is probably a bit better than I think it is, but it's probably not great. It is midnight, and I'm grossly warm. I'm going to go eat some food. I'm going to eat something cold and then call it a night. Thanks so much for dropping by. A really exciting time for Netrunner. We have a lot of news today. We're going to hear about the new Most Wanted list relatively soon. It looks like it's coming down to as soon as like Wizards approves it. Thanks so much for the stream. Good night. Hey, thanks so much for dropping by, y'all. Really appreciate it. I was really looking forward to this deck. We had a lot of news today. Like, I was pretty sure we would just grind out 108 card max decks for a long time. It's grossly warm. It really is. Good luck if you have regionals this weekend. Thanks to all the people we played against. Do stay tuned to the Nisei stuff. That's really exciting. And in Montreal specifically, we're having a GNK in about 3 weeks at Monday night at the pub, Randolph Pub, if you want to drop by. Otherwise, there's not a lot of events around here. I think Toronto's doing another event sometime in the near future. And I forget the exact date, but the end of September in Antwerp. There's a regional, I believe, that Thomas is running. So check that stuff out. That's all for me. Thanks so much for dropping by. Take care.